Hello and welcome to the Yerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are
the Yerky Boys.
We are almost done with the show. We are getting close. We are on season 2, episode 3, the front of the Animorphs TV show.
That's right, except we're really at the back of the Animorphs TV show.
Maybe. Possibly.
Because it's almost over.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, what did you think I meant?
I thought you meant because there's a lot, even more fucking air date weirdness with this one.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, do we have to talk about the air dates again?
We don't have to. It just suffice it to say that sources disagree on whether this aired after the next three-parter or not, but they don't seem to disagree on whether this is the last episode.
Since you brought it up,
yeah,
I do have some things to say about this.
Okay, good. I'm glad you do. I was ready to move on, but...
So, Seropedia says this aired October 8th, 99.
What?
That's what it says.
Okay, no, the other three sources I looked at did not say that.
IMDb says February 27th, 2000.
Uh-huh.
But don't we, I mean, I feel like we always thought that this either aired in fall of 99 or winter of 2000. Hasn't that always kind of been the weirdness of it?
Well, except for the fact that, depending on who you look at, the next three-parter Changes might have aired before this.
Right. Well, here's what Seropedia says.
Okay.
Seropedia says, The Front is the final episode of the TV show to be aired in Canada.
Okay.
But is in fact the fourth last episode. I think they mean fourth to last, but that's what they say.
Yes. Listen, the fact that the next three-parter is last does not seem to be disagreed upon to me.
Now, here's something else that I happened upon. I was doing research.
Okay, good.
And I didn't send this to you. I didn't discuss this with you at all.
Oh,
but I found a transcript online. It's currently being hosted on a tripod.com website.
Hell yeah.
Of, at one point, Nickelodeon and AOL hosted a chat with the casts of Animorphs where Nickelodeon was asking them interview questions, presumably in an AOL chat room. And there, for some, I don't know if it was multiple sessions, because there's like two or three different ones, and like each one has two different actors in it at a time. I'm not really sure how they did this. There's a lot more. I'll send this to you. I'll send you a link to this if you're interested, but it's some of it is just more of the meet the stars of Animorphs type of content. Do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's one they ask. Is it? I keep forgetting. Is it Christopher Ralph or Ralph Christopher? It's Christopher Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ask him, like, would you ever date a fan? And he like deflects it, kind of. He's like, haha, or something. I'm not seeing it. Yeah. And then they ask him again. They're like, no, but would you really date a fan though? It's like, whoa. All right, calm down. Anyway, the reason that I'm bringing this up, the reason this is relevant, but of course I didn't actually like bookmark this section, so I don't know if I can find it.
Oh no.
It's fine. Oh yeah, here it is. I found it. Here it is. At one point, they ask Brooke Nevin of Rachel fame, mm-hmm. Can you tell us when Face Off airs in America? That's the point blank. And she says...
is the answer, yeah.
Quote, it will be coming in the fall.
Okay.
Now, she might have been wrong. They might...
corroborates Seropedia in a way, though. Because Seropedia said it was the last episode, or this episode here, The Front, was the last episode to air in Canada. And it gives the February... air date, right? Mm-hmm. Wikipedia says that this aired before Changes, right? So presumably in the United States, not Canada, and says it premiered in the fall. So that would align with the idea that these spring air dates are Canadian and these fall air dates are American.
Yeah, maybe we've solved it.
That's that's good enough for me for now.
um, they also ask, is it true Christopher will be leaving next season?
In a
Brooke
sense,
says
yes.
no. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I'm like, how is this show even on anyone's radar enough for there to be a rumor like that about it? Like,
Yeah,
where did
that's
that come from?
interesting. Like that, because that does imply there's a rumor somehow. Like what?
Right.
Where did that come from?
It's very
Huh.
strange.
Yeah. More
All right.
research is required.
Anyway, I mean, maybe I'll put a link to these or something in the notes if people want to read these interviews. But okay,
Maybe
that's
we'll
thus ends that portion of the show.
use the time matrix to go back and ask these these actors some questions.
All five of them, all five actors.
Right.
We do have some business before we talk about the episode.
Okay.
First thing I wanted to say, we should have brought it up last week or the week before, but I forgot. But we like to cover current Animorphs news on the show.
Hmm.
For instance, when JonTron did a video.
Right. Yeah. Big news.
Well, another sort of JonTron-sized celebrity did an Animorphs thing. I'm of course referring to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO. John Oliver made an Animorphs joke in one of his episodes.
Wow. A
I
single Animorphs joke in an
I sent
episode.
this to you. Did you? This means you
Wait.
didn't watch it.
I must not have watched it.
I
When
mean, I
did you?
posted it in our Discord just
Okay.
as a YouTube clip. I didn't say, hey, there's an Animorphs joke in this. I
Well, you
just
should
assumed you
have.
would
I
click
probably
it.
was just like, "Oh, it's a John Oliver clip. I'm not
Why would I
gonna
just
bother."
post? Because I
Because
timestamped
maybe
it. Why would
I
I?
don't.
Why would I post a full episode of John Oliver just with no context?
I don't know.
I I'm
Well, I didn't.
intending
I
you to
guess I
click
didn't
on it.
notice there was a timestamp, and I was like, I don't feel like watching a full episode of John. That must be what happened. I don't. I don't think this is my fault.
This John Oliver episode is so good. I'm going to post it, but I'm not going to say
Yeah,
you
that
must
must
watch
be.
all 30 minutes of
I.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You see why I didn't click it, because that would have been an insane thing for you to do. So I just ignored it.
Well, the episode was about Facebook and content moderation, and at one point he said it doesn't matter what the setup for the joke is, but he talks about how so and so is like trying to decide uh, which of the creatures on an Animorphs book cover you would hit with your car, and he shows the cover of the Android, which features Marco turning into a spider.
Hmm.
Relevant since just
I
last
know it
week we
well.
watched the Android, in a sense.
Yes, we did.
Um, and he's like, now this one over here is just a kid. You wouldn't hit that. This one down here, the spider, you definitely hit that monster. But in the middle, I don't know. It's got a kid's face. Should I hit it with my car? It's a little funnier when he says it like, oi, this cheeky fucker's in the middle of the road. Am I going to hit this motherfucker with my car? It's more how he
Right.
does it.
Yeah, no, it's funny when he does it like that. You sound just like him. That's pretty
Thank
much,
you.
I could hear it in his cadence when you read it the first
Yeah.
time, but I could
Right.
really hear it in his cadence when you actually did.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's right after JonTron. That's got to be
Right.
the
Big
most
news.
high profile Animorphs reference like in pop culture in maybe the last 20 years, right? Probably is. I mean,
This
unironically.
the Can you imagine how sad like an Animorphs news show like if we just had to like if we just had a YouTube channel and we just put out a new video every time something like that happened? It was like
That's
5
what this
minutes long,
show
10
that's what
minutes
this
long.
will be when we
It's already
finish
more
all
than
the
10
the
minutes.
TV stop talking. When we finish the TV show and everything, it's just going to be like every 7 months, we'll make a new
New
episode.
episode.
when it's like The Onion made an article with an Animorphs reference in it, and we do 45 minutes on that.
Look forward to it.
All right. Now, speaking of that, actually, we do have a little bit of sharing to do.
The sharing.
God, that was just beautiful.
Thank you.
Would you believe it, my friend? We got a email here from a first-time writer.
Jeez. That's crazy. What the fuck are you doing? The time for that was long past. The show
Yeah.
is in deep decline at this point.
Well, they don't know that yet. I will. This comes in from Cat. That's with a K. It's not a feline, although maybe we'll see. Cat writes, "Hi, longtime Animorphs fan here. I'm also the weird ass furry who blue skied a meme at you the other day.
I
You
remember
remember
that
this?
post. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one you posted in the Discord, and I did look at it because it was referenced me.
Right. Well, you didn't have to watch a video. You just read text.
Right, that too. I mean, I could have just skipped past it and not looked at it. Sometimes I
Now,
do that with your posts.
listeners won't have maybe not have the context for this, but on Blue Sky there was an exchange. Okay, it's not important. I'll just continue.
Follow us on
Nah,
Blue Sky.
right. Cat continues. I recently went on a nostalgic book binge, and as a result, discovered you guys' podcast. I'm only on episode 10, but I'm completely invested and enjoying it so much. You guys are this. I didn't write this. I'm reading this. You guys are hilarious, entertaining, good book analyzers, and also extremely based, which I appreciate. Is this a
Wow.
zoomer? I feel like based is this might be a zoomer. Anyway,
Could be.
Kat, let us know if you're a zoomer. All right. I work 8 to 12-hour shifts at a factory and listen to podcasts and YouTube the entire time. So you two are going to entertain me for the next few weeks. Thankfully, I'm extremely late to the party, so I have a long backlog to listen to. I also very much appreciate the 2-hour-long episodes. The more, the better. Boy,
Everyone
if you
loves
like
them.
2, wait till you get to 4. It'll be a while until I catch up, so sorry if you've already addressed this in later episodes, but I have a couple of questions. It's actually a little more than a couple, but it's fine.
I know. I think it's probably a couple.
It isn't. Here's the questions. Which maybe we'll it really, I mean, it's really is a couple questions. There's some compound questions. The first one is, will the podcast finish up once you're done going over the Animorphs show? What are the plans for the future? I thought we're pretty much very close to finish with covering the show, so maybe this is a good time to address this a little bit. We'll probably address it again in weeks to come.
Yeah, sure.
But the short answer is the show will not end right after the show ends.
Yeah, you're right.
We have episodes planned to cover the graphic novels, the audiobooks, their board games and video games, as well as a few other odds and ends. And at the current trajectory, those things should take us about midway through June. So if you're one of the few listening to this in real time as it's happening, then there's roughly 3 months left of content for this show.
Yeah. So by the time you, Kat, hear this episode, you'll already know what we've covered.
I mean, if you're working an 8 to 12-hour shift, I don't know if it's 5 days a week, maybe it's only 4 days a week, or maybe it's more. I don't know, but if you average that out, how long would it take? You could maybe catch up before it's over. It's possible.
That's true. You could. I'm not gonna do the math on that, but
if you throw the Patreon in, then I don't know what to tell you. But beyond that, I don't know if there anything else beyond that show is something you'll have to stay tuned. listeners to see if there's anything beyond Animorphs. I think the last episode we will probably just do a double suicide.
Yeah, I don't think anything's happening after the last episode for us. I think that's
Hey,
the end.
hey, come on! If you're having suicidal thoughts, call a hotline. Um, the next question Kat asks is there a way to donate to you directly? I feel like if the podcast finishes up soon, it'd be a little redundant to sign up for your Patreon for just 1 or 2 months. Plus, I feel like I owe you more than just $5 for the 2 years worth of content I'm about to consume.
Wow.
The answer to that is no. Um, we could set up like a PayPal or something, but I think at this point, so close to the end, it feels like it's not really there's not really much reason to do it.
Yeah.
If you on Patreon, you can donate more than the or less than the like $5 gets you content, but anyone can just donate $1 or $50. Like you can put in however much you want. It won't change there's no other reward tiers, but that is an option. Then you could just, if you wanted to do a one-time donation, you could just make it through a Patreon subscription and then cancel it or lower your pledge for the next month if you so desired.
Here, I'll tell you what you can do. You can go find me a rare book in a used bookstore and get it for
Mm,
me and send it to
hmm.
me. And
Right.
fuck Jonathan, he doesn't get anything.
But you did pay for that book, so it wasn't like a gift or anything.
Yeah, but the legwork was done for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But anyway, and then Kat says, other than that, just thank you for the entertainment. I feel like I'm reliving the whole series again and going on a journey alongside the two of you. Can't wait to get to the episodes about my favorites. Smiley face. Uh-oh, it says P.S. My favorite book of all time is the Helmicrons book. Oh no. That's not true. It doesn't say that. That was a joke.
I thought maybe you were going
Uh,
to say the weakness.
then it says, may the Kandrona shine and strengthen you, Kat. So thank you for this email. It is weird. It's like hard to address an email from. It's like a bit of a time
Yeah, right.
travel is happening here.
Yeah, I mean, do
But
you do you think that she'll like check this episode, or will it just all be over?
I think I will send a. I think maybe I'll reply with a link and just say, if you want to skip ahead, listen to this.
Sure. Why not? Do you think that we're Cat's second favorite Animorphs podcast, maybe? Maybe we
It
can beat
sounds
our
like we're number
third
one.
ranking?
I really feel like we're number one for Cat.
Maybe. It's hard to know.
That's a lot of high praise in here. I mean, look, this is a very self-serving email. It's like not about Animorphs really. It's about our show and us and giving us money.
Yeah, those are the best.
But the show is on its way down. So
Yeah. It's time to rest on our laurels.
yes, it's time, and I'm sure it's time to. It's good to talk about this kind of stuff because this is what people really care about is the meta logistics of podcasting.
Yeah, does anybody give a shit about the episode we're about to talk about?
I kind of thought maybe we would just be done. We put this out there and we're good. If anyone listening wants to email us, no matter what, unless there's a very good chance if you're hearing this right now, like there's an extremely high chance that anyone who listens to like the back half of our episodes at any point, or any of them at any point, will be listening to them after we've finished the whole show and are done. Like
That's
the
true.
percentage of people who listen while it's
Yeah.
actually airing is very small.
Yeah, and nobody is gonna tune in and say, "Oh shit, they're doing that." I wasn't gonna listen because they were only doing the books, but they're doing the TV show now. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's not happening,
Well,
right? People
I
are
don't know.
starting
Maybe.
earlier, right? Nobody's picking. Like, you could imagine somebody saying, "Oh, they're on book 20. I'm just gonna start right where they are, and I'll go back." Nobody's
Mhm.
starting in the TV show and going back.
I don't know. Dove Tiefenbach might.
Our best friend.
But anyway, if you do want to get in before the end, theyerkyboys@gmail.com. And of course, our Patreon is patreon.com/theyerkyboys. All right. Let's start with the show. I figured, we did a lot of business up front this week because next week we're doing a 3-parter. We won't really have time for this kind of thing. So, you
Yeah.
know,
And I think this week we'll have time for this kind of thing.
I mean, how, how many times have we said that before, though?
Right. I mean, you already know, I suppose, listeners, what the episode length is. So
This is the thing. This is for the people like Kat. There's all these fucking freaks out there, I'm telling you, who just they have a commute, they have a job or whatever, and they're just like, give me the fucking 6-hour podcast. They don't care. They love this shit. They eat it up like slop from a trough. Fucking little pigs.
that is how I imagine our listeners.
I mean, yeah. What else? What else would you imagine it as? We're just pouring this slop, this mess, this gunk into a trough, and they're just like. They ever morph into pigs and Animorphs? They never did that, did they?
I don't think they ever did.
That feels like kind of an
Yeah,
obvious
what
one.
the hell?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Oh, I don't like
Then
that. That's
then
my
Rachel could be like,
fanfic here.
"Boy, Marco, I thought you already did word. I thought you Marco didn't even. Boy, Marco doesn't even look different."
Yeah, some
Or
kind of men or
Marco.
pigs joke
Yeah,
thing,
I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
Marco would say that about Rachel, but well, it feels too mean to say that to a girl.
You're a gentleman.
There was definitely one. There was definitely at least one joke where he was like, "Oh, Rachel, I couldn't tell the difference," or like that. Definitely happened once.
That happened multiple times, and Rachel also. That happened Rachel to Marco multiple times.
Yeah,
Pretty common.
those
Those
two
two.
kids,
They did get up to some hijinks.
those little
Uh,
lovebirds.
so this is another Graham Lynch directed episode, the last one. He didn't do the
Ah,
three-parter.
the last Lynch, just like David, R.I.P.
R.I.P. And this was written. The only writing credit on the show, as far as I'm aware, by a George Melrod, whose last name really sounds like a
No, wait, no.
1940s schoolyard insult.
We did talk about him
Oh, we
because I
did?
remembered making this exact same remark the first time.
When did he show up before?
It was like not that long ago. He wrote "Not My Problem"
Interesting. Why isn't he? Did I fucking miss
on
something?
IMDb.
Or maybe
He's
he's
listed.
like a co-writer and just didn't show up. Oh no, he did. I
Uh,
just missed it. I looked back through him and I
you
just didn't see it.
dummy, you big dum dum.
That's my fault. This is why I'm glad I got you to remember these things. My brain's
That's right.
disintegrating.
I didn't even look at the writer, to be honest. But then, as soon as you said Melrod, I remembered him.
uh, all right. So then there's oh god, Alex Poch Golden or Poch Golden. How do you say that?
I liked all of the ones you said.
Well, whatever. He plays Gustav, who of course you remember, your favorite character, Gustav. I believe he's related to Joseph something. Um, Ian
Uh-huh.
D. Clark plays Nate Lippman, the consumer guy. We love him. Uh, Karen Ivani plays Lady Lawyer, and Jean Yoon is Watch Customer.
Yep, that's our new cast for this
That's our
episode.
new cast.
There are some interesting ones in here. Jean Yoon. I've heard good things about this show, but never watched it. But she was it looks like a major recurring character on this show, Kim's Convenience.
I don't think
I
I've
think
ever
it's
heard of this.
Yeah, I think it's a streaming show, but it's relatively recent and it like aired for several seasons, and I think people liked it. It's like a sitcom. So that's like, that's pretty big, honestly. Like I
Yeah,
think that show was fairly successful.
she has like 2 lines in this episode.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you want to be real relevant here, Ian D. Clark, consumer man,
hmm Consumer guy.
consumer guy, plays fucking Ed Koch, former mayor of New York, in this year's Oscar nominated The Apprentice. Last year's, I guess.
Wow.
He plays
I mean, that is
fucking
actually
Ed Koch. That's crazy.
it is pretty crazy. I love
That's
every
an
time there's
insane.
somebody real in these.
Yeah. Like what a like that's a role. Like if
Yeah,
you
right?
get that, you're like, holy shit. Like he's in an Oscar nominated movie this year. And
This
he
is
was also on Animorphs.
the Oscar nominated episode, I guess. Like this is the episode to watch on account of I
Yeah.
think the consumer guy really makes it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when we get to him, we'll talk about
Yeah,
his performance because it's beautiful.
right.
Okay.
Alright, I think that's enough of that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want more of that, listen, we did 20 minutes of it on last week's Patreon episode talking about whatever
God,
movie that was.
I don't even remember.
Doesn't matter.
So so, I mean, right off the bat, you know, I I made a couple of, like, predictions. I
Mm,
gave kind of a space of ideas that this could have pulled from. I believe
yeah.
you said that you had no idea what the fuck they were gonna do, and you were right. I was wrong. This
I
episode
think
yeah.
every prediction we voiced was not correct.
I mean, you were correct in saying who the fuck knows what they're gonna do. They're just gonna do some bullshit, and that
Yeah.
was right. That's what they
Yeah,
did.
right.
Who the fuck they just did some bullshit.
Also, there's a couple of big surprises in this episode.
Yes,
There's some
couple of big surprises that I was also, I made predictions about earlier in the show and have, now been made to
mm,
eat crow.
yeah,
This episode is determined to prove me wrong at every turn, but I am
I
very
love it.
excited to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I will just say this before we start getting into the nitty-gritty. Thi this is maybe the dumbest episode of the show.
I don't disagree with you.
Which isn't to say whether or not I enjoyed it or not, just I do think it is the dumbest. Like maybe the only competition is back to the very early on in the show, the mall episode we liked, where they're just running around the mall. I mean, this
Hey,
also is an episode all about the mall.
yeah, I was gonna say the mall episodes. That's where you get your dumb ones.
It is not based on a book, although Seropedia insists that it is partially inspired by an aspect of the Decisions plot. What do you think about that?
Is it?
Because I had to look at the summary to remind myself. In the book of the Decision, in like the cold open, they're in the mall, the cold open, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And Axe is like eating a bunch of Cinnabons and is like, I should get a job working at the Cinnabon. And they're like, okay, clean the table. And he just like licks all the crumbs off. And they're like, what the fuck? Like that. It's like 2 pages a joke.
Right.
So,
See, here's the problem is I remembered that joke, but I didn't remember the setup of Axe wanting a job.
right.
Uh, and they didn't use the joke in this episode.
Right.
So I was just like, I have no clue how it's related.
Yeah, but you know, I also would say it's kind of a stretch to like
Yeah,
it doesn't that's like saying, oh well, like Tobias is in his room this episode, so it's
yeah.
inspired by an aspect of that plot where he's in his room.
Please, God, let me find a way to link it to the books.
I gotta my job as a Seropedia editor is on the line here. I need some kind of expertise to share. Okay.
Uh, all right.
How does this
Um,
episode start?
we open in the mall, as promised.
Wow.
Um,
Oh shit.
Marco, Jake, and Axe are there.
The
Uh,
dream team.
that's one of them, one of the dream teams.
On
Uh,
the in the TV show, that's the dream team.
yeah, I think you're right.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, no, I mean, listen, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this opening scene where they're just in the mall, but suffice it to say, the overarching thing that's going to happen before the opening credits is that Axe decides that he needs a job. Right? They're wandering around. He tries to buy a boombox. It's a funny scene, but he doesn't have enough money, and they're like, "Axe, you got to have a job." So that's what's going to happen this episode. Is Axe is going to get a job. But let's talk about this
Well, I
mall
mean,
scene.
that's what you think is going to happen, but then right after the intro, the opening credits, Axe wakes up and you find out it was a nightmare. Remember?
Right, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
now.
I just noticed right here in the opening that Marco is once again wearing this weird blue shirt with the floral pattern on it. It's the same shirt.
You know, I couldn't even see the shirt because I'm too busy looking at his fucking hair.
Did it get higher this episode?
No, I mean, look Fucking look at it. What did he do to it? Listen. Okay, I know, you've been like, no, that reference is too obscure before when I was talking about Rachel looking like Decker, but I'm sorry, he looks like fucking Tim Heidecker in the latest season of On Cinema. It's the exact same fucking hair he has. Like, who? Listen, only Marco could pull this off. He still looks decent, but like anyone else, you'd just be like, what the fuck is on your head right now?
This is season 12, I believe, because latest.
Right.
When people listen to this in 6 years,
Right.
they won't
That's
know.
true. They won't know.
So you'll have to Google that and figure that out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. It
What?
was 2000. It was the new millennium. They had to change it up.
I mean, here's what I started wondering though, right? Is that, Marco has always been very fashion forward. And last episode we were saying he's just straight up rocking the Zoomer broccoli hair. I'm
Mm.
wondering, is this going to be the Gen Alpha hair? Is this like 2030s premiere hairstyle?
Holy shit. We should start using these episodes to predict fashion trends
Right?
and maybe sports betting or something
I don't know anything about that.
somehow. The first thing I actually noticed in this scene, so the three of them are coming down the escalator.
Mhm.
Again, this is 7 seconds into the episode.
Yeah, I mean, here I skipped a full like minute in to get to the opening. I knew we had a lot to talk to before we actually got there.
There's some really weird bad ADR, it seems like.
Yes.
Where Jake is like, "Hey, don't you love the mall?" And Marco's like, "Yeah, come on, let's go." And they're clearly their mouths are not moving.
They
And
just
it
can't get
just
the audio in these malls. They don't have the equipment for it.
it does not sound at all like it's so obviously they recorded it after the fact and they weren't saying anything. It's very bizarre. And then they're walking through the mall and this conversation they're having is not good. Marco says something like, there's three things I like: malls, balls, and malls. And
Mm.
Jake goes, "Oh, what about girls? Oh yeah, and girls." Or then they like a girl
Uh,
passes by that they're checking out.
so, okay, I heard this very differently from you.
Okay.
Because the way I heard this going was Marco saying, "There's three things I love: malls, malls, and malls." And Jake says, "What about girls?" And Marco goes, "Uh, right, yeah, definitely girls too." Uh,
Oh my god.
no, he like fucking, he's hesitating. And I'm just over here like, "Oh, Marco, just tell him you want to fuck him already. I know what's going through your head. You're over here like, oh no, Jake, say it ain't so."
Jesus Christ.
That's all I'm.
Sure.
That's just what I heard. I'm
Sure.
reading between the lines. Maybe I'm a little better picking up on social cues than you. I don't know.
Oh, is
Uh,
Rachel in this scene?
she is not here yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said reading between the lions. Um, regard whether or not you choose to read that subtext into it, it's just really bad dialogue.
No,
It's
it's
like since when does Marco love the mall? Like that's weird. That's not like a trait he has.
yeah,
And and just the way he does it, like, oh man, I love like they're trying to do a kind of like a Buffy slang is what it sounds like to me, or maybe even Clueless or something. Like that kind of like hip 90s, this is how teens talk, and it's just completely falls flat on its face. It's so not like that. I don't believe that these two guys are just walking through the mall going, "Man, do I love the mall." It's not a real conversation that anyone has.
yeah, right. I wonder. Here's the weird thing. I feel like the writers have really just been completely failing to make Marco funny this season. Like he
Hmm.
just they aren't. It's like it's not even like, oh, they're doing a bad job writing Marco funny lines. It's like they're not even giving him Marco's lines. They're just giving him lines and being like, "You're the funny
Hmm.
guy. Make it fucking funny." Like Marco
Yeah.
would not. That's not how Marco would make that joke, right? I guess he,
Yeah.
he has a couple Marco lines this episode, but I don't know.
It does seem like he was funnier in season 1 so far.
I
I
just
don't
think they're
know.
dropping the balls. No, dropping the ball. Marco does like shoes. Marco does like shoes here. There's a whole bit about like uh, Jake being like, "What? You really need another pair of shoes, Marco?"
That is that in the same while they're
Yeah, it's
walking
like in
down?
this same thing. Marco's like, "I'm gonna get some shoes," and Jake's like, It's some of the bad ADR that they put in. It's like it's baffling. I don't know where they're getting this.
Who does he think he is? Whatever the
Kelly?
name is. Yeah, Kelly. That's right. I couldn't Thanks for picking up on it.
Oh, I know. How could I forget?
Kelly's back. Kelly's on TikTok now.
That doesn't really surprise me.
The millennials know. We don't need to explain that.
Yeah, Zoomers get the fuck out.
Zoomers jump into a fucking lake and drown. Now,
Uh, yeah.
cut to Axe.
Yes.
He's in I guess it's like a Radio Shack or
Yeah.
something.
Yes. Some kind of electronic store.
Looking at a boombox. My question first is, he's eating something. Can you tell what he's eating? Because I thought maybe it's possibly a cinnamon bun, but it could just be a cookie or something. Like, because it's like the last bite of something, and he's just kind of hastily shoving it in his mouth. It's certainly brownish in
Hmm.
color, like the color of either a cookie or a cinnamon bun.
It could
I
be a
don't know.
cinnamon bun. Yeah, and the crumb that falls out of his mouth is lighter in color, the way that you might the inside of
Mm.
like
Mm.
it's browner on the
Yeah.
outside. It's got that whatever you call that shit on the inside, that structure.
Bread. So this would be the first canonical instance of Axe eating a cinnamon bun on this show, if that's what that is.
You hear that, Seropedia? Add that to your list of factoids about this episode.
Wow, pretty good. Now he's distracted by a TV, which he immediately rushes over to and starts imitating the news guy or whatever this stupid show is. We'll talk about later. On the
Consumer
TV.
guy
Right. Consumer. How could I
on your
forget?
side.
Ed Koch. um, I mean, we just finished last week's episode when
Mhm.
Axe said, "I'm done with TV forever," threw it in the trash. And the opening of this episode, he rushes over to a TV.
Yeah, fuck that. He likes TV. He likes TV slogans. He's gonna keep doing like TV style announcer voices and like advertisement voices throughout. And in fact, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, listener. The twist at the end of the episode, Axe is going to save the day due to his intense TV knowledge. Like, without his knowledge of TV and TV slogans, he would not have been able to get out of the jam he's about to find himself in. So, really, the moral of
Wow.
this episode, I feel, is fuck that last episode. TV is great, and Axe needs to watch more.
I like that. I agree with that. I think we all should.
Mhm.
After you're done listening to podcasts, of course. This is what I think about so this is a pretty Axe centric episode. And when Axe was first introduced in season 1, we had a discussion where I said, like, is this just going to become the Axe show now? Because I felt like Axe is so clearly the interesting novel character. He's the comic character. It seems like he's the Alf now of this show, or the Steve Urkel. Are they just going to start leaning real heavy into Axe? And they didn't really do that.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like maybe that was because they had the season planned out. They were following the books still to some extent, more so than they are now, it seems. And now we're only, there's only so much of season 2, but it kind of seems like with the last 2 episodes that they were moving in that trajectory now. That they after season 1, they were like, "Hey, you know who's like always funny and like their funny scenes always worked is Axe. Let's lean into that and kind of make him in more of these episodes, because this one and last week's are just basically they just almost feel more like traditional sitcoms with just a funny guy on them."
Yeah, I mean, especially after last week's episode where I think we started talking about this, or maybe that was the episode before this. I really was getting vibes during this of like, this is the sort of thing the show probably would have become, like left to go on for a bunch of seasons. We would have seen it turn into this at least for a while, and maybe it would have been better than this, or maybe it would have been like this for a while. But like this is just kind of, you know, generic one-shot plot line that they came up with and doesn't really have anything to do with the books, but it lets them use Axe the funny guy character, right?
Mhm.
Like this feels like the sort of thing that you would get just if this was just a kids Nickelodeon show to begin with and didn't have any book series to base itself
Yeah.
off of.
Yeah, totally. It's it's a wacky character gets a job. Whoa, what's gonna
Yeah,
happen? This is just an Alan Strange now.
right.
It's it's like, is there a Yerk plot and evil stuff? Like, yeah, sure, of course there is, but it's not like, oh, the fate of the world or whatever. It's just it's like Alf. It's like, yes, does he want to go back to his planet or whatever? I don't know. Sure. Are they ever gonna is Gilligan gonna get off the island? Yeah, they're gonna kind of try to, but like who gives a shit? That's not what we're
Right.
doing here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's basically it does seem like what they're moving towards, which is and in some ways like it does work better because you can just the way they were trying to shoehorn in the books to this format really almost never worked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I think that this because like if I'm thinking like, well, what would happen if the show was just seasons of this? The answer is unless it gets like a lot better, I would run out of things to say on the podcast, but I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
is it would be fine.
The Adventures of Axe just being a goofy alien guy on Earth.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Consumer Guy now or
I mean, we can talk about him whenever. I don't know if there's that much to say right now. Whatever you want.
I don't know, he's on the TV, it's like setting up a thing. He's a guy who goes to businesses and exposes them for being
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, like this kind of like late 90s attack journalism that was the rage at the time. If this were the modern era, he would have a YouTube channel. Um and he would probably still call himself consumer guy. Uh like that
Maybe we should do this.
we should. Consumer guy on your side.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't have time to dwell on that right now because Axe wants to buy this boombox.
Yes, I did like this joke where the guy tells him it's 250 and Axe tries to hand him $2.50 and take the boombox. I think I should try this grift. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, I think he actually says, "Whoopee whoopee." By the way,
Uh,
the boombox, as you said, $250. Today, that's equivalent, I looked it up, to about $460. So that was the price of a boombox in 2000 or 99. $450. Is that like that's not is that how much I like a really really nice one. That feels like way too much money for a
yeah,
CD player.
yeah, because that's too. It's too recent. Because I was gonna say like it wouldn't have to be a very nice one if it were a new enough thing, right? Like you might say
Right.
like, oh, there just aren't. Uh,
If it was like 1985 or something.
Right, right. Like,
But at this
it's like
point,
there
like you
are no
have
shitty boom boxes. The shitty boom box is the top of the line, but
like
that's not the
Napster
case.
is out at this point.
Yeah,
There's not like this is too CDs are like on their way out already.
yeah. So this is a good ass boom box.
I guess. I don't know what the hell it does. What does this fucking boombox suck my dick or what? You know?
That wasn't necessary.
Have we ever
It
talked
just
about like do andalites have genitals? Like where
we
are they?
definitely have talked about this. Yes.
Where are I want to see them.
Is this like a how would a horse wear pants thing, or where is a centaur's genitals? Are they where the humans would be, or where the
Yeah,
horses
like
would be,
where
type
are
of thing?
they and can I see them?
I mean, it only makes sense for them to be where the horses would be, right? Like you can
Sure,
still
of
they can still
course.
mount each other with centaur bodies, but they're not gonna, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
just no access. right?
Access?
And I'm sure you can see them. Just Google it.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up later.
Okay.
You must have some comments about the music in this scene, right?
I don't think I actually wrote any down here. I think the music in this episode is pretty inconsistent. There are a couple parts in here where I actually kind of like it, and there are a couple points where I'm like, what are they doing?
This I think it's this scene. I'm pretty sure. Um, they start playing these music cues as he's like negotiating or pretending to, or not pretending, he's or negotiating. Christ, he's giving this guy the money, which is the wrong amount of money. Haha.
Mhm.
And the music, to me, it sounds almost like in Back to the Future when some magical whimsical thing was happening. You hear the little like diddly doo. But it's happening like for no reason. Like there's nothing interesting happening. He's like reaching in his pocket and counting change, and this music's like like
There's some
it's
whimsy.
crazy.
There's whimsy because Axe he's a whimsical type of character because he doesn't understand that it's the wrong amount of money, and so he's kind of
Uh
silly in that way. That's whimsical.
Doc comes out of the time
Some
matrix. Axe, we've
whim.
got to something's got to be done. Axe, it's your ancestors. Axe, star and tree. You've
Oh,
got to
that's a good.
make sure they get together. Axe.
Oh, you were gonna bring up Lauren, but damn, you pulled out the star and tree.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I guess I forgot that there was a. Well, I mean, Lauren is. I can't get into this. Let's talk about this episode, please.
Do you think Tobias and Lauren would fuck if he went back in time and they met each other?
If I was writing the fanfic, yes,
Uh,
guaranteed.
all right. So Axe has got to get money. Marco and Jake have to explain to him how money works, and he doesn't. He's like, work sucks, and why I don't understand why humans work. And Jake is all like, because nobody would ever do anything if they weren't forced into labor, because labor is so inherently terrible. And Axe is like, we have fully automated space communism, so we don't have to do that. It might be gay too. I don't know. Uh, they have this whole conversation in very explicit terms, but and anyway, Axe does decide he needs to get a job if he's going to be on Earth.
Jake really loves capitalism.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I
you know
believe
what?
that Jake in the books loves capitalism.
Yeah, it's not really. That does not feel out of character for him. But it is funny just how on the nose he like what you just said is not really an exaggeration. It's like people
Right?
have to work. And also for some reason Axe is so he's like at 11 in this conversation. He's so mad about this.
He
And I
wanted
don't
that. He was
really like
promised.
why? Why
They
does he
told.
want this boombox? What does he want to do with it?
Listen, people get much madder when they're told that they can't have something that they already had, right? Than when you tell them they can't have something they didn't have. Axe was promised that boombox for 250. And so he took it. And then the guy fucking took it back away from him and he paid 250. It's not his fault the guy said 250 and not $2.50. Or I'm sorry, 250. You know what I mean? He didn't
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
250 as Axe said. It's not fair. It's an injustice. Axe is pissed.
Yeah, he is pissed. He is so
I'm pissed
pissed.
too on his behalf. I'm
Yeah,
worked up
I get
about
it.
this.
I
Axe
get
and I
it.
are on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did he get even the 250? Are the Animorphs giving him an allowance?
Yeah, they're all crumpled up so in the Tobias episode, Axe had crumpled up bills in his jacket that had just kind of been there, but I think he also only had like 6 total dollars or 10 total dollars, and he still keeps finding crumpled up money in his clothes as though it was just already there. If the Animorphs are giving him these bills, I don't know why they're rolling them into balls before they hand them to him.
It's more cinematic. You got to
Yeah,
believe it. No one would. Oh, a crisp dollar bill from a kid's wallet doesn't look good on screen.
it's all lost money.
What
Maybe
does
he's
that mean?
stealing it. Like people lost, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like they lost it and now he found it.
It's like there's old money, new money, and lost money. That's what Damon Lindelof has.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get there, but you did it. I'm not really a lost head, so I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, I got there. Anyway, that's the intro. We cut to the credits, and basically this is when I was like, so this is just like Axe gets a job. Is this just a regular ass sitcom now?
Right.
Because there's
So
no
we
no
were
no no
wondering
mention of Yerks or morphing
what
so
the
far.
front was, right?
Right.
Because we thought it could mean anything. Well, it turns out they meant the front as in like the storefront.
Yeah. Right. I suppose that's true.
So
In a sense.
that's what's happening.
We do
Gene
get a lot of
Gene
mall
Yoon.
footage. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
here's
we
Gene
do.
Yoon.
Gene Yoon, watch Gustav.
Gustav as well. This is our introduction to Gustav.
Uh,
Um yeah,
this
he's yes.
watch.
Right.
Yeah, so Jin Yoon is
This sucks.
mad because she bought a watch from Gustav and it doesn't work. And I guess I don't know, he's like, I won't fix it or no returns or some bullshit. And Axe comes up and fixes it. And it's really impressive. And Gustav's like, you want a job, boy? And this sucks.
Okay, so um I don't know. We don't know the name of this store, I don't
We sure
think.
don't.
It
I have opinions on it.
looks crazy. It's just like racks with in some parts there's phones, some parts have video game controllers that look like I don't know in what universe, what video game system these controllers are for. They've got like 40 buttons and all kinds of weird shit on them. And they're just hanging on the rack in front of some construction paper with no
Yeah.
price, no labels,
Yeah.
not in a box. It's like, what are these?
So when you say racks, you're specifically there are these like black steel vertical racks, right?
Yes.
That you like
Like
can clip stuff to.
like
Um,
I'm trying to think of where you would see these in real life.
Dollar
And
store. We had them at the dollar store I worked at. You put them like on
it's
the walls. You can clip your like holiday decorations or whatever shit to it.
sure. I was gonna say like a game store. Maybe you'd have like packs of cards on there or
Hmm.
something. That
Sure,
kind of
sure.
thing.
Um,
Yeah.
but they don't have any shelves or like displays outside of these racks. The stuff is so assorted. Like you said, there's like video game controllers, there's cell phones, there's like fax machines. There's also like wooden back massagers. Not like, an electronic one, but like just the sort of shit you might whatever, foot massagers. There's water guns, like super soakers. There's chess boards. It's it's such a weird fucking assortment and it doesn't fit. It doesn't make any kind of sense. Um and I really was getting so when I was younger, I did work at a dollar store and it wasn't a big chain. It was like a family owned type of thing, right? And the guy who owned it, he would go to like all of these vendor conventions and he would find people with like overstock to sell. So we never had the same stock, right? It was just always, or some of the stuff was like usually the same because he had deals, but like the stock was constantly changing, right? It wasn't like you
Mhm.
just come in and you have your standard Dollar Tree assortment. So we had all kinds of just random bullshit that was just like whatever he happened to get a good deal on last month and it might never be here again. And that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this store, except instead of random shit that costs about $1, it's like cell phones or whatever that just this business model doesn't work on. And instead of being like full because he's like constantly bringing in whatever inventory he can get his hands on, it's like totally empty. He's barely got any inventory there whatsoever. It's I don't know what the fuck this store is.
I mean, look, here's the thing. All of this can be explained in universe
That's true.
because
It can.
we will find out. It may or may not be something in the title of the show.
It might be that there might be something.
But other than that, I mean, yes, it's very obvious that they just they just had to put together a storefront on a budget of $0 in probably 25 minutes, and this is what they were able to do.
And can I say this construction paper backing looks like shit?
It's so crazy. It must have been like because there's like black electronics, so they don't show up as well.
Right.
So they had to like put something behind them. But why? Like, why wouldn't they be in boxes? Did they literally like they couldn't afford to buy or like use a storefront at the mall that existed? So they were like, just bring in from home anyone who has any electronics. We'll just put them on the racks.
Yeah, they literally just like fucking slapped it on there. And it's just it looks so shitty cuz like again, I worked in one of these random ass dollar stores where we had to like bullshit our way through all of this kind of crap cuz we just didn't have standard merchandise. And you know what? If I had to make a sign from scratch, we would have taken like two sheets of construction paper or something, put one in the middle so it's got like a framed outline, get the person with nice handwriting to write on it, we can't fucking laminate it because we don't have that, but take some like packaging tape and put it over in layers so that it's nice and neat looking and like
Nice as
take
neat.
the fucking box cutter around the outside so it looks like if I put up some shit like that at the fucking dollar store where I worked when I was young, that my boss would have been like, that looks like shit, redo it. And this fucking guy who's selling cell phones makes his displays look like that? Are you serious? So I have opinions
Yeah.
on this store.
Yeah, you're clearly very passionate about
Dollar stores,
retail.
yeah.
You're, you're sort of like Jake. You sort of have a passion for capitalism.
Right, yeah. That's
It's
exactly right.
nice.
That's how I describe myself.
Um, all right, great. So, but we understand the store is a bit bad.
Mhm.
To sum it up, he's also selling watches. I mean, it is the variety of things is bizarre. I guess it's maybe supposed to be like a sharper image or something, like a, but obviously
Mhm.
it's like just so much shittier looking than that
Yeah.
would be. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck's going on.
And again, the problem it still arises from like even if it was a sharper image type thing, what are the super soakers doing here? You know?
Right? There are super soakers.
I don't know.
It's insane. It's a ridiculous store. This watch that Gene Yoon is buying, by the way, is not just any watch. It's a TV watch.
I,
It
so,
like plays a TV show on it.
so
Or
so
is
she
that a different watch? But that's it. That
no,
is in this scene.
it is in this scene. So
Yeah, no, it is this watch.
she shows up, she says it's broken. We see like Axe fix it by pressing a bunch of buttons, which like this is stupid, right?
He
Like
should have
it's
just like wiped it on his
on
chest and
his fucking fur.
demagnetized
Yeah.
it.
When we get a shot of the screen, it's just like a regular ass watch, right?
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
standard whatever.
Yeah.
He presses all the buttons, he hands it back to her and says like, "Oh, now your TV watch is working." And the way now I don't know. Maybe it was always supposed to be a TV watch and she just couldn't get it to work. But I was almost running under the assumption that I am supposed to believe that Axe has programmed this watch to now be a TV watch. It wasn't before, but he made it one because he's so super Andalite smart with technology.
I like that better. I think that's a good interpretation of it.
Okay.
That's
I
good.
thought that was fucking stupid.
I don't think that is what I think it was supposed to be a TV watch. But I actually think it's better if he made it a TV watch. I think that's good.
Fair enough.
So I disagree with both things. It's not that and that's good. um we haven't even talked about Gustav yet. This is our
Goose.
first introduction to Gustav, who I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. How would you describe the vibe and aesthetic of this guy? He's kind of like a new age. He's
Yeah.
wearing like this long sleeve. I don't even know what you would call it. It looks almost like a monk's robe or something. Like it's this weird kind of slightly baggy armed. Looks like he's wearing like a robe or of some kind. I don't know what's going on, but it has like little weird patterns on it in places.
Yeah.
And he has
It's
a
not
gold
really I mean, it's a
necklace.
shirt, right? And it's tucked in, but, like, if you just look at, like, the collar and and
Yeah.
cut, yeah, like
Looks
from
like a
far
fucking
away, it looks
Jedi.
like a shirt and not a robe, but
Yeah. Then he has like a gold necklace of some kind, and he's wearing orange tinted sunglasses.
yeah,
I
yeah,
what
like
is what is this guy?
yeah, I
What's
mean,
he
I don't know.
doing?
He's new age definitely comes to mind. I also maybe like artsy kind of guy, not like artsy like um creative type, but artsy like maybe runs a small store where he sells paintings or whatever
Hmm.
type of thing. Maybe he could have been a little bit more hipster if this was 10 to 15 years in the future, but those didn't exist exactly. But I don't know, but he doesn't quite fit any of those, right? He's weird.
Yeah. And why would the owner of a technology cell phone store look like that? Like
Right.
that's not the aesthetic that makes sense.
I mean, I do believe
It's
that it is a weird if if this store is, more similar to what I'm saying, he would be picking up random ass overstock and selling it, but rather than doing it with cheap stuff, he's doing it with expensive stuff, which is a dumb shit idea. Maybe the guys that do that look like this.
yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. They were going I don't know if they were going for some kind of specific satire of a type of guy or more likely they just said, "Hey, wardrobe department, what do you got to make this guy interesting?" The show's probably it's canceled, so just have fun with it. Who gives a shit? Um Gustav.
Gustav. Gustav, again, this is a K. Applegate name.
I mean, Gustav is a real name at least. It's not like
Yeah,
that is a name.
so are all of her other names technically.
Well, I don't think Joseph something is a name.
I think it is if he's like a Eastern European guy. There's probably some Eastern European
No,
country that
I don't think
pronounces
there
it
are.
Josip or something.
No, I never heard of it.
Most likely.
Yeah, I don't. We both agree there isn't.
I think there is.
There isn't, and um, Gustav. So he immediately
Okay,
offers Axe a
Gustav.
job. I
Yes.
mean, it's extremely convenient. 2 minutes later, as soon as Axe decides I want a job, he just happens to find someone and immediately be offered one. He's hired. He doesn't have to fill out an application or any paperwork. They don't ask he doesn't need to, he doesn't ask like how am I getting paid? What are the hours? This is how easy it was back then
I
to
mean,
get a
to be fair,
job.
some of those are things that, if Axe didn't do, then whatever.
Right.
Boss
I
probably
suppose
loves
that's
it if you're
true.
just like, what are the hours? I don't know. What's hours? I'll be here.
Yeah, yeah.
And Gustav's like, yes.
No training required.
Yeah, that part does get a little bit problematic later in this episode.
I mean, we'll talk about like what exactly is Gustav's fucking end game here, but
Right.
I don't know. We see like I'm sure we'll talk about as the episode goes on. Also, the cell phones that he's selling are, of course, these ridiculous big
Oh my
bricks.
god. I have things to say about these cell phones too. We'll get there.
I don't know who ever had one like this or why, but one of my parents must have had a cell phone that I would just like, I found and would make fun of in my house. That it was just it looked like one of these, just this big gray fat brick that you like pull down the thing and has a big antenna on the top. It is very funny to imagine that people. I mean, I don't have to imagine it; like we lived through it, but
Yeah, it
it
probably
wasn't
didn't
exactly
look like it was made out of
widespread.
like shitty kids' toy plastic though.
I think honestly, I think it did. Like I think that is what some of these old cell phones genuinely looked like.
Well, well,
Uh all right.
yeah. All right. So then they're all in Siberia. The Animorphs are all in Siberia. Axe is there. Jake and Mark are there. Tobias is here. Hooray! Tobias is in this episode. I wonder if he'll be in this episode any more than this. You think maybe?
I mean, I should we talk about Tobias right now, I suppose?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. He's here. He's playing a video game. I think he has a line of
I
dialogue.
I I don't I don't know that he does. I could be wrong. I think he doesn't say a single word in this whole episode.
I'm pretty sure he has at least one, and by at least one, what I mean is maybe two.
I I don't I gotta look at it again. I swear he like just is standing there and says nothing.
Because let's see here. The problem is they might have like, oh no no no. See, there's his mouth moving right there. He definitely says something.
All right. Okay. All right. So he says at least one thing.
Yeah, it's probably something like, "Hey X, what's up?"
Well, now we do know where Tobias was last episode because if you recall, at the end of Face Off Part 3, Tobias is now a boy and he goes, "Oh, I can beat my high score on this game," and Rachel's all impressed. So he's just been in Siberia this whole time. He never left the arcade.
He's a
That's
gamer.
Yeah, he's like, I haven't had thumbs for so long. I gotta play these games.
Yeah, I mean, think about it from your perspective. If you got turned into a bird for like a year, how many games you'd have to do a lot of
Yeah,
gaming to make that up. You can
yeah.
still watch movies as a bird if you're clever about it, but you can't play games, so.
I mean, I'd be rigging up some kind of I'd get Eric to rig up a special bird controller.
But Eric didn't show up till he was already a boy in this one.
That's true. Now,
I need
of course,
Axe.
we get another appearance of the most popular arcade game, the Beast Wars video game from the PlayStation
Yeah.
or N64 or whatever it is.
Once again,
Whoa,
fucking
why?
Tobias gaming on this thing. And he's got his like flame shirt and his leather jacket, and he's very Columbine coded, I think.
Well, that's yeah, you're right, and it's appropriate.
It
And again,
is.
yeah, this is post Columbine, so like they should have known better. But I like it.
You're right. Yeah, yeah. That's interesting
Marco's
though.
man. Yeah, go
Hmm?
ahead. No,
I was gonna say,
I just go ahead.
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like you're gonna incriminate yourself if I let you keep going. So
No, no, I was just gonna talk about more about how shitty Zootopia's outfits are, so it doesn't matter.
go
You
for
talk.
it. I was just
No, that
gonna
was it.
say,
That was it.
okay, Beast Wars is not really a bird game. The other time he got better because it was like a plane game and he can fly, right?
Hmm.
So maybe he
Hmm.
can't beat his high score in Beast Wars yet because he wasn't a beast.
I don't know. He could be playing as Waspinator,
That's true. That's
or I
true.
mean, there literally is a hawk beast
Yeah, sure.
war person. Anyway, let's watch Beast Wars again.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
That'll
you
be our
tell
next
me,
Patreon.
what was your reaction to this next part?
I had a little bit of a meltdown. I was screaming. I was having a little bit of trouble keeping it together.
Yeah,
I think there might have been a noise complaint. The cop showed up. It
yeah,
was a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing.
I called him.
Cause guess who shows up right now in Siberia? It's fucking Melissa.
Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Motherfucking Melissa is
Yes!
here.
She's back,
She's
baby!
fucking here. I almost, like I saw her and I was almost like, no, but that's not actually her. That just is, it's got to just be a girl who looks like her, right? There's no, because it couldn't actually be. It's been long enough that I haven't seen her. It's like,
Yeah,
it could just be a girl who looks like her, but very quickly, it's like, no, it's Melissa. And then they said it was Melissa and they gave the backstory that she's Chapman's daughter. Oh my God. I'm
yeah.
happy to be proven wrong. Happy to see our old pal Melissa back. More time than she got in the fucking books.
I was gonna say, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think the two episodes she's in make her more of a character in the show than in the books. Which
Right.
is, I'd really say something. She's
Fanfic writers
back.
take note because Axe calls her cute here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's important to we need to know as the audience that she is cute for later.
I just thought we wanted to know Axe was into her.
Sure. Axe is into everybody, that slut.
Yeah, what happened to Tanya?
I'm asking myself the same question.
The
Ah, well,
fuck,
it didn't work
Axe?
out. It didn't work out, you know? They say like, "Oh, do you think Melissa's a controller because, she lives with a Yerk and that seems pretty logical and it's been like a
What?
year?" You think they probably would have got to that by now? And Axe says, "No, she's not because I can tell I can just look at their eyes and I know if someone's a controller or not."
Yeah, so I mean, listen, they did hear that Chapman sacrificed himself to save his daughter, so they could it could be a real question. But
Mhm.
okay, so fucking we're really kind of doubling down on this because back in the capture, right, Axe just kind of like looks at Jake and is like, "It's a yerk, he's a yerk."
Mhm.
Which, in the books there Jake had more of a tell. Um But I don't think they explicitly said in the show that's what it was, right? Like Axe just looks at him and kind of knows, and we were left to speculate as to like how exactly did he know. Here we explicitly say it. Axe, as an Andalite, has the power to just look a Yerk in the eye and know they're a Yerk.
Yep. They
That
don't need
kind
to
of
be scratching
sucks,
their ear or nothing.
right? Like, doesn't that defeat the entire purpose? You can just fucking
It is. It's such a, and also just why, like it doesn't, that does not create any opportunities for interesting storytelling. All it does is close doors.
you know what it
It
reminds me
doesn't make
of?
sense.
The
Mm.
Host, where you look in
The
their eyes and you can
the
tell if
Bong
they're
Joon Ho movie, the Korean.
right.
Have we discussed doing that on the Patreon? It's got like a host in it. We should do the host Parasite double feature.
Wow. Yeah, those are both yeah, the host
I
and
mean,
I mean, yeah,
come on.
that's
It's right
basically
there.
both about Yerks.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh
The
my
eyes are
god.
stupid and
Yeah, it's
something. You
stupid.
said something else. You know what I appreciate about Siberia is every single time someone has a drink in this cafe, it's a different cup. Like off sometimes in the same scene, different getting drinks at the same time. There's like four different colors, shapes, sizes. There's what are the what is like you want small, medium, twisty, brown, green? Like there's no consistent sizing method at this store. They just have whatever the fuck cups somebody brought in that day, they give them out.
You've got I mean, this is the '90s, so I don't know how to do the price conversion, but like hell, how expensive is it to just like go out to the store and be like, I need a fucking like dozen pack of some shitty plastic cups, right? Just so they're all the same,
Yeah.
right? Just I just want to buy a dozen. Right,
Yeah.
just fucking $10 or something, $5. Probably the $10 is way too high for a dozen cups in the '90s, right? Just
Yeah, it's like
shit ones.
it's
Yeah.
probably 50 cents or something. It's a fucking quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to be solo cup level shitty, right? But, like, you don't like, this doesn't come out of the budget for the show. This comes out of your fucking pocket because who gives a shit? Nobody cares.
Well, they always want it to be like, oh, it's a cyber cafe. The like cups should look futury, but then they just don't keep them from episode to episode. So they're just like, we got to grab some new cups this month. They
Yeah, I
don't.
mean, that really is I don't think they want anything. I think they're just like, fuck, the props department gotta get where are the cups? God damn it, we have a couple of them in there, I think. Fucking just take these.
Yeah. Now, okay, so here's Melissa.
Yeah.
And who comes over who's hanging out with Melissa? It's Tom.
Mhm.
Okay, so everyone's like, "Oh no, Tom's a controller, Melissa's a sweet, innocent, virginal maiden."
Hmm.
Like a
They did
Yerk has
say
never
that.
entered her. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Right.
quoting.
Yeah.
I think Cassie says that.
Yes, I think that was Cassie's line.
Yeah, because she's in this scene for sure somewhere.
I don't
Um,
think I have a hair down alert yet, so but she
hmm,
must no, she's not in this scene. Okay.
no,
See,
I
this is
don't
how
think
it could
Rachel's there either.
yeah, only Tobias. What the fuck?
He never left. He's just there.
This is how I know whether Cassie's in the scene. I can see my hair down alerts in my notes.
Right. Now, so like the conceit that's being set up here that we're going to see for this whole episode, sort of the uh, I guess the B plot. I guess Axe's job is the A plot.
And
I
B
don't
is a
know.
little generous, but I mean, there aren't any others, so
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's the other one is that Tom is hanging out with Melissa trying to, I guess, infest her. I don't know. We can talk about that later, but it sure seems like Tom and Melissa like he's dating her.
yeah, no,
Like
he's
this is
hitting on
a
her.
and now I guess they're both supposed to be in high school in the same school. Like that's I guess been established, right?
Right.
Tom
Yeah.
goes to Jake's high school.
Yeah,
But his actor just looks like he's like 22 and the girl who plays Melissa looks like she's 14. They this looks like this looks like some seriously groomery shit to me. Tom buying this like young looking girl a drink at this place. I I don't know if it's maybe I'm like misreading their ages slash it was the late 90s 2000s so it was just like different. They are going to the same school, but I, I was not comfortable with these two dating each other and no one being like, Tom, aren't you kind of fucking old for this girl? I thought it was really weird.
I think some of that is the height because I don't think you pulled that out when Christopher Ralph, who's 21, had to play love interest to Rachel, who's 16.
Well, I guess that's also the like. Well, I know like Rachel and Tobias are in the books romantic, so like you have to play that
Hmm.
angle in the show.
But here they
Whereas
just
like
do it.
yeah, like Tom didn't need to be dating Melissa. Like who like that's fucking weird.
I guess
I
you
don't
also
know.
know that Tobias and Rachel are supposed to be the same age, whereas with Melissa, it's like
Right.
they're supposed to be the same. She's supposed to be the same age as the Animorphs. You know Tom is supposed to be older. How much older? Right? Like, is Tom the year above them, or is it like they're freshmen and Tom's a senior? Since he's
Yeah.
still in, like, I don't know, right? Uh,
Right.
so you have to like use the context clues. I guess that's fair.
And a senior dating a freshman is still like on the border of creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
um
I would have said that was creepy back then, so I'm gonna go with it's creepy now.
and I think Christopher Ralph actually looks relatively young. Like I don't when I see him next to Brooke Nevin in the show, I don't feel like, oh, they look so much different in age. They looked more or less compatible to me. Whereas, like I said, I to me Melissa's actress looks way younger than everyone else. Like I think she even looks younger than Brooke Nevin. I don't know how old she is in real life, but she's
Mm.
like this tiny, mousy little tiny thing.
I don't actually know that I would agree she looks younger than Brooke Nevin, but Tom does look old, like relative to the other
He looks
characters.
like he is in his like he looks like he's 25. Like he looks fucking old. I don't believe that he's in high school. He looks like a college student at most. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
buy that.
It was weird. I thought it was all weird, and we're gonna see that more of that in the episode. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's a major part of this is that Tom is like flirting with Melissa, because I guess that's how he's gonna get to her to yerk her. Like he couldn't just be friends with her. I don't
it's
really know, uh, like
it's
why that
insane.
needs to be part of the plot. I mean, other than just like we want to do like a teen drama, so like he's trying to get to her. What are we gonna do? A romance, you know? Um,
They wanted more personalized stakes.
mhm.
Like this way, the thing that happens is, oh, there's a character we know at stake.
Yeah. And also like if you're a kid and you're watching like you're like what is my like high school sitcom drama thing? Oh, my friend my friend's or my cousin's older brother is trying to hit on my friend, but I don't think they're right for each other, right? Like that's like a plot line you might just do. But here they're like, well, it's going to be a Yerk thing. Whereas if you made it make
Mhm.
sense, then it would just be the Yerk thing. You don't get any kind of resemblance to that other plot.
But they also don't. I think it would work better if they actually leaned into that metaphor, which they
Hmm.
don't at all.
No, they don't.
It's
You're right. I am. I'm
Yeah, it's
taking
just
that very literally. I can't, like, read that into anything.
yeah, like they only are like he's gonna turn her into a Yerk. That's bad. They're
Yeah.
never. There's no subtext whatsoever of like, oh, we have to talk to Melissa and say like he's not right for you or something.
Yeah, it's really weird because at the end, Melissa actually does. It's gonna part of the way it gets resolved is Melissa's gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't know. I think Tom's too old for me anyway." And it's just like, nobody really talked to you about this. Like, where did that come from? Were you just thinking that the whole time? Like, what built to this? What I don't know. Did any of it matter?
I'll tell you what I would have wanted to see is Melissa trying to have a heart to heart with her dad. She's like, "Dad, I don't know about this guy at school or whatever that I'm dating."
Oh my
And then the
god.
Yerk in Chapman has to come up with a way to be like, yeah, keep dating him. It's good for you." Even though a real dad would be like, "No, don't fucking date him."
Well, see, this could work really well because now, Chapman's Yerk could be like, no, I made a deal with my host not to get her yerked, and fucking Tom, who I hate, by the way. Remember that plot line from Face
Right.
Off where they hate each other that we
Right.
forgot about? I fucking hate Tom. So now I'm going to Tom and I'm like, Tom, what the fuck? Innes, how dare you? Uh, you
Oh.
know, you're trying to you're trying to yerk my host's daughter.
Holy shit. That is so good. That's so upsetting now. That's so annoying that they didn't do that.
She
That's like
better
such a
come
that's
back
so
home
good.
before midnight without a yerk in her head, or I'm gonna Drake on you.
That's fucking hilarious to imagine that it's like he has the talk with the new boyfriend except they're both yerks. That's amazing. Are you kidding me? How great that would be if they did that and they just of course fumble it. They don't even try. They don't the
Yeah.
ball's not even fucking on the field.
It didn't even occur to them. They weren't this wasn't a plot
Yeah.
line they thought about. They
Is Chapman even in this episode?
technically,
Okay.
they don't they don't talk about Chapman even talks to Tom in this episode. They do not mention Melissa at all. It's not important that he's her
Well,
dad. Doesn't matter.
like you said, it's like there's no it makes no sense. You could put a Yerk in her at any time easily. There's like
Yeah.
why there's no reason to go through this elaborate ruse.
Yeah, like I mean, right off the bat in the show, Tom is like trying to get Cassie yerked by inviting her to the sharing along with Jake, and there's no sense of like, oh, Tom's hitting on Cassie,
Mm,
because they don't. That wasn't a love triangle they wanted to set up.
yeah.
They coulda,
You know what Tom could do is he could just like go into Jake's room while he's sleeping.
sure could do
Yerked ya.
that.
Anyway, back to unnamed store.
I think this is going to be a 6-hour episode, by the way.
Yeah. I've got roughly 6 hours left. So I
Okay.
guess seven.
Yeah. Okay. So Axe is here. He's trying to sell things. He is awkward and not good at it. This guy asks for a gift wrapped gift, and Axe just kind of slaps some wrapping paper on it. Again, I
Great.
ask, where is the training? Um,
Well, Axe appears to be the sole employee other than the guy
yeah.
Gustav.
And Gustav's not even here. He just left
So
him.
before he just randomly met and hired Axe,
Yeah.
just no one else worked here.
Yeah. And then fucking, oh, new kid, some teenager I literally just hired, like today. Rather than asking, "Hey, have you ever worked a job before? Okay, do you know anything about anything? Let me stand here and train." All right, you're on now. Just stand, sell. I'll be over in some other place. Don't worry about it. You can hold down the fort, right? Like, are you?
Like, is this the
It's
same day
crazy.
or is this the next day or
I'm going
something?
to assume it's the same day because it's funnier to me.
It's really banana. I mean, I guess this is kind of how it seemed on TV in the 90s. Like you think of Clerks or Mallrats or I'm just like Nickelodeon shows would just be like, this kid got a job and they talk to their friend at the mall and they're like the one at the pretzel stand. But yeah, presumably that would be like after not their first day.
Yeah, and like you would think they would like I don't know, like when they fuck up their job or whatever, you wouldn't expect it to just be like, yeah, they just like fucked up the most basic easy thing cuz nobody even thought to look and nobody cares and they just get to keep doing it. Would be like they fucked up and now the manager's like, "What did you do?" or whatever, you know? Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. I wouldn't fucking expect a new person to know how to gift wrap a gift. In fact, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I don't know how to gift wrap a gift for retail because you can't just do it the way you do it normally. You got to do it in like fucking 5 seconds or you'll hold up the line. I don't know.
Certainly can't do it the way I do it. I don't do it that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Hair somewhat down alert.
Yes, Cassie's in here, hair down alert. She's kind of looking kind of
Mm,
fresh. She's got like a hoodie,
mm,
sweatshirt,
okay.
sweatpants. You know what I mean?
Just no, I just back off, okay? She's mine.
I don't know. Maybe she's mine now.
No, okay.
Maybe I'm into Nadia now. I don't know.
Okay,
Could
come
be.
on.
Could
No,
be.
no, no,
I
no,
don't know.
no. No, no,
I'm just
no,
saying it's
no,
a
no.
possibility.
Gene Yoon is all yours. I already claimed Nadia as my prize.
Yeah, that's
Sort of like my possession, if you will, like sort of like
Personally,
an
I
object.
respect women, so you know.
So do I. I would keep her very well in some kind of a glass case, stuffed and taxidermied.
Okay, okay, we didn't have to. Okay,
Anyway, what was it? What was it? Cat called us based. Yeah, pretty based. Now, okay, so they come in because I don't know. Now it's Cassie's turn to see Axe. Jake was like, Cassie, you're not going to fucking believe how this Axe
yeah.
is working at a store. It's insane. He doesn't know what he's
Fuck have
doing.
you been this whole episode? Yeah, Axe is still doing his TV voices. There's a bit he has to sneak into the back to demorph, and Cassie and Jake are supposed to stall Gustav, which they do by saying, "Hey, wait," and he just walks right past them. They don't do a good job, but we do get a demorph and remorph scene, or I guess just a demorph scene of Axe here, and I think it's worth talking about since it might be the only morph in the entire episode. Oh no, there's another one.
Right. There is, yes, there, wow, yes, there is another one, in fact, but
I almost forgot.
so did I. But I do like Axe's demorphing face in here. It's pretty hilarious.
Mhm.
There's some good transition faces going on. I do wonder, will we ever see a full body morph again? Because this season, I think every morph has just been their face. And we did get at least a few in season one of seeing the actual body turn into an animal.
Yeah, face. There's some arms in this. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a full body more. Well, they're trying to um, kind of improve what they were doing a little bit here because they are doing the body parts bit by bit, and they are having like axes like making weird faces as it goes.
Mm.
But yeah, they're not very good at this.
I guess credit for them, like, I don't know if it's credit, but they do actually acknowledge the 2 hour time limit, which obviously a lot of the time they seem pretty happy to ignore because it's just inconvenient or not interesting for the plot. Of course, maybe this scene proves them right because it's not really interesting for the plot. Like it doesn't. This scene could be cut. It doesn't matter that we see him demorph. Like other than the nerds at home going, "Oh, yeah, that's right. They have to demorph." Like who cares? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, it's just not that relevant to this particular story. The problem is that conceit, that restriction, it's only good if you build your storyline around it, right? If you're just like, okay, I want to write the story. Oh, wait, fuck, they got to demorph and remorph at some point, don't they? You can just ignore it, right? If you're like, oh, Axe is going to have to find a way to demorph and remorph to work his job, sure, whatever. Fucking he takes a bathroom break. I don't care. We don't need to talk about it. Like, it
Yeah.
works better if you're like, oh, we're on a time limit. You gotta go boom, 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 do this fast. Everything's on a schedule. And oh no, things are out of whack. We're off schedule. Everything's a disaster. Right? Kind of heist
Yeah.
movie style. That's when it works.
Yeah, something has to go wrong, or there has to be a consequence
Yeah.
that moves the plot along.
Right.
Just seeing him go, okay, I did it. It like doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah,
It's
I
called
mean, it isn't
Animorphs. They had to
it is an
morph.
excuse. Yeah, exactly. It's an excuse to show him morphing. They didn't write enough of those into the plot, so, they
They
had to
still
make
have
one.
this anim. They still have the costume, so they gotta at least
Yeah.
show you the torso of it.
Yeah, we do get an actual full torso shot after he's done morphing his face, so that's,
Clearly, no tail though, or back half.
right, I mean, listen, they've only got so much.
There's a part right here where I swear Jake and Cassie both say sorry, like in succession, and Cassie says sorry, and Jake says sorry, and I was
Yes,
like, we need to get this straight, you two. Come
that
on.
does happen.
You gotta like you are in the same scene talking to each other. There isn't even a cut. Agree on how your sorries should be said. Because we know Jake, they're both
It's not that
Canadian.
hard.
So
Yeah.
Jake's making a conscious effort to sound American. Unless I don't know if every Canadian, with American TV and stuff, maybe depending on
Mhm.
where you're from and how much TV you watch, maybe every Canadian doesn't say sorry. Maybe it is just maybe they just don't even notice. They just think, oh, I don't know, all sorries sound the same to them.
I think they probably all do say sorry, and, Shawn Ashmore just is a little more dedicated, and that's why you've heard of him.
That's the Ashmore touch.
That is the Ashmore touch.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
why in X-Men when he says sorry, and that's when they knew that's our Iceman right there. 'Cause he said sorry, right? Wolverine's Canadian. Hugh Jackman
alright,
is Australian.
alright, alright.
Cassie's, or no, it's not Cassie. It's some other lady comes up and says, "Do you carry cell phones?"
Yeah, this
Um,
is, I believe, Karen Ivani, who plays,
ah,
Lady
cell phone
Lawyer.
buyer. Oh, lady lawyer. Right, right, right.
Right, one of our favorite characters from Animorphs. Maybe this is Rachel's mom.
I think it is.
Uh, so she gets this cell phone. She picks it up. Gustav's like, "You want to try one?" And of course, the way that you do when you try a cell phone, you immediately hold it right up to your ear. Now, this is before the days where you had screens, you couldn't text or anything, but I do think you still had to, dial them. Also, I don't really know what you want to try it. Like, what do you, if somebody just handed you a cell phone with, an old cell phone, right? You're all millennials. You remember what they used to be, and said, "Do you want to try it?" You wouldn't just pick it up and hold it. You'd be like, "Well, who should I call? What should I? What do you mean? What do I do?"
Yeah, like it's not like you're trying on a pair of shoes or a
Right?
hat or something. Like, let me just see what's the ear feel like on
Does
this
it fit
phone.
my face?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could. Oh, just pretend to talk for a minute. Yeah. Like, there's no set. Are the phones pre-programmed to play some music or something? So you go like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the sound quality. I guess that's pretty good.
It's not
It's-
fucking playing a dial tone constantly whenever you're not using it. Like that's what a landline does. That fucking
it's so ridiculous.
it
Yeah,
is absurd.
even on an old cell phone, you would still like, oh, I'll try pressing some buttons, like looking at it. You wouldn't
Yeah.
fucking like you might maybe put it to your ear for a second if you were really like thinking about which phone you wanted, but it wouldn't be your first instinct. It's
Yeah.
it's
I
stupid.
It's insane, and it's not the first time this is going to happen this episode. We're
That's what
gonna
they
get, like,
do.
2 more instances where they're like, "Just try the cell phone out."
I still
"Okay, I'll
I
put it to my ear."
I still can't get over her coming up saying, "Do you carry cell phones?" They're everywhere. Every aisle in the store, every rack is covered in phones.
I
What do you
guess
think?
I guess I've worked enough retail that the idiocy of that question just blew right past me. I was just like, I don't know. The number of times people would ask me, "Do you have X?" And I would literally just, like, point to something sitting right next to me, and they'd be like, "Oh." Just
She also
yeah, I mean,
she
I don't
walks
know,
up to the
man.
store with such purpose. Like she comes from around the corner. It's not like she's like looking around like, "Huh, what's in there?" She must have looked the store up on a map or something. Oh,
Yeah, there
do
are,
you
like,
carry cell phones?
5 items in their inventory, and
Yeah.
the cell phones are prominently displayed all over in their signs. But listen, customers are very stupid. I buy it.
Yeah. So she puts the phone to her ear and we don't really know what's happening
Right.
right now.
Yeah, she puts it to her ear and then she kind of goes all hypnotized like, and she's like, "I'll take 6 of them," and puts it down. And so I'll tell at this point, my thought was it's like a Yerk mind control device, which when you think about it, that's a really stupid thing for me to have thought. Why do the mind control slugs need a mind control device? But to be fair, that was a plot in one of the books.
Yeah, right. It's okay if they're stupid if the books were stupid in the same way.
It gives me an excuse to be like, yeah, maybe they are that stupid. I don't know.
I did kind of, at least I've assumed it was what it was
Okay,
from
yeah,
this. I was like, I mean, I was still incredulous because I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does that work?
that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Even
Yeah,
dumber than the mind control thing.
yeah, I was like, can't be that, but I guess that's what's happening. Is the fuck? And then later on, yeah, we'll find out.
Well, there you go.
Maybe,
I figured out that the dinosaur was a dream sequence, and you
wow,
figured out the plot of this episode, which had me in the
wow,
dark.
yeah,
There
I'm
you
sure.
go.
I really, wow.
Matching
I
wits over
feel
here.
really good now about myself. Okay.
uh, all right. I mean, listen. Okay.
Hmm?
J- Jake and Marco back at Jake's. Tom is on the phone hitting on Melissa. And then
Grooming Melissa.
grooming Melissa. He's going out to talk to Chapman. And we think maybe he's gonna be like, "I want to fuck your daughter," but no, he's whatever. There's some other thing. Whatever. Jake and Marco have to follow him, so they morph bats.
Hey, first of all, I guess there is a lamp on in the corner, but it sure looks like Tom is just hanging out in the living room talking on his cell phone in the darkness.
See, this is the great thing about our podcast is that, like, I'll set up the scene by saying, okay, Jake and Marco are going to follow Tom to the meeting location by morphing bats, and you'll open the discussion with, I'm sure there is a lamp somewhere.
This is what's important here. Tom is a creep. Turn a fucking light on. Okay. I should then this next point I should really get over by now, but how the fuck does he not see Jake and Marco? They're standing 5 feet away from him in the kitchen, just like staring at him.
They're doing the
He,
standard like peek where they're both like there's like a interior wall, like a doorway, and they're both just like leaning out looking
he,
at.
if he just like looked, if he just tilted his head 2 inches, he would be looking straight at them. It's ridiculous. And then he just goes the other way. He goes out the door that way. Good thing he didn't like want a drink from the kitchen first or something. It's so stupid.
We need some like Animorphs extended universe books to start telling us like why the Yeerks have bad peripheral vision. Like it's like the explanations for why stormtroopers have bad aim or whatever.
Yeah. That
That's
that
what
would be good.
Seropedia should be about.
Okay, but now the bat. So well, first Jake says, or somebody says, "Oh, we should turn into owls."
Yeah.
And that Marco says, "But we never acquired owls."
What a
What is the
ridiculous thing to say.
what is the point of this? Like,
Right?
what? Why did they write that? Why not just A, they could just have owls, or B, they could have now, oh, we have to go
Yeah.
get owls. Like, of all the fucking things that are in Cassie's barn, I'm sure as shit she's got a fucking owl.
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking it's such a weird way to get there, right? It's like we should turn into birds. Oh, but it's nighttime, so birds can't see well. Well, then we should turn into owls. Oh, but we don't have owls. Well, then we should turn into bats. Why not just say, bat, like time to go bat, and then they turn into bats, and you're like, oh, I see, because it's nighttime outside. That I can see that with my eyeballs by the darkness, right? Like what what the fuck
It's
is?
so weird. I guess they want to remind you, oh, they have a lot of animals they can turn into potentially. They're animorphs.
I do like the implication because when they turn into bats, Jake doesn't say like, "Oh, we should turn into the Batmorphs we got for this specific location." He says, "Remember those bats that were in Cassie's barn that one time? Let's turn into those." And I do like the implication that they do what they should be doing, which is acquire every single animal that comes into Cassie's barn. I don't know why
Yeah.
there were no owls, but you know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I think I actually missed that you do see Jake's arms turning into bat wings.
Yes.
But then for Marco, it's just a vision transition.
Mhm.
Bats, of course, see in red.
Right.
um, that Marco says we're doing bats, which I thought kind of had the same energy as they fly now.
We fly now, maybe because
Yeah,
they're
and
bats.
they do fly now. He also says move over Dracula.
He's got a couple of references this episode.
Oh yeah, I think this one's coming right up. I
Yeah.
think is it this same scene or is it a little no, it's a little later.
Little bit later. Yeah, he'll have a Star Wars one.
Right. I do think this is some of the most half-assed morphing yet.
Yeah, it's not very good. And these bats, I mean, I can't even tell if these bats are real or not because they're so poorly lit and they do so little. Like, do they
it
have some bats on like a rafters or do they have some fake bats that they're jittering around in bad lighting?
Yeah, I don't know. Everything looks like you're looking through a virtual boy. They're hanging from the rafters while Chapman is talking to cell phone dealer Yerks.
Yeah, they
Oh,
got a
and Tom.
shipment. Gustav's here. You know, it's the cell phones
Oh,
because the cell
they have
phones are
Dracon
Yerkish.
beams, I just
They
realized.
do, and it's funny because I did not notice this somehow. Like, even though there's a whole like the first time I watched it, it didn't even occur to me that these were Dracons anymore. Because they're saying blast them, and the bats are flying around like crazy, and I'm just like, oh, I guess they didn't get a shot off or something. And it was only on the second watch through that I was like, oh, the flashlights are right. I remember
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they're really not even trying to make them look not like flashlights. I mean, they never did, but this really just looks like they're trying to see him with flashlights.
It's also funny to me
It's
because like we've got these Dracons, they double as flashlights. They can't get a shot off on the bats. But the bats are up in the rafters, and we have to find some way to light them that's believable to the audience. So let's put the flashlight on them so that you can see they're illuminated by the flashlight. Unfortunately, they can't get a shot off with the Dracon beam, right? They can only get the flashlight on
mm,
them.
yeah, right.
I
Well,
don't, I
you
don't
start
know.
with the light, then it's got to power up, so they move too fast.
Yeah.
Somebody says, "Oh, maybe they were just bats." Sometimes a bat is just a bat,
Could be.
and
And somebody
yeah,
else, Marco,
yeah, 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 yeah.
says, let's see if I get the exact quote written down. He says, I feel like the Millennium Falcon in the Death Star,
Cool.
right?
Good,
Because they're going
good,
through the rafters and stuff. And
sure, because they're a thing in another thing.
yeah,
I,
that's pretty
which is like
cool.
you could, I guess, say that anytime you're in any building. I mean, like other than the fact that they are bats, I guess they can fly, but otherwise, it's basically just we're inside of a place.
Well, no, but it's specifically the Millennium Falcon. So they're racing through all the like beams, the crisscrossing
Mm,
beams, and they got to avoid
mm.
getting blown up by the Dracon
I
beams.
guess I
It's
get, and I mean I guess
They're not like X-wings in the trench, right? They're not like Obi-Wan sneaking around the control room.
no,
Not like those
I,
things.
they could have also yeah said that, but no.
But that would have been incorrect, and
I
this one's
mean,
correct.
it would. I think it would have been correct in just a different sense.
I don't think so.
They're they're infiltrators in a place that they're not supposed to be. It was
Well,
to me is the thrust of it.
but that would make sense if it was just when they were hanging out. Get it? But like when they're actually flying around, that's more than just.
I've got to. I think we have to. We should stop this right now.
Are you sure? Because I was really
Yeah,
thinking it could
no,
be pretty fun
I
to extend the
no,
episode by another half an hour.
no. I think we're almost at the halfway point of the episode. We're probably gonna race through a lot of the rest of it, but
Well,
let's let's get back to Axe at the store, who's now selling Tom a cell
okay.
phone.
Okay. Oh, I think actually that bat scene was one of the times that I commented that I did like the music, so I'll just put that there.
Oh, that's nice.
Inconsistent music. All right, yeah, Axe is back at the store. Gives Tom a badly wrapped box, but a better wrapped box. So I think he's
Mm.
figuring it out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Tom like almost recognizes him. Uh, Tom gifts Melissa a cell phone.
Well, you know what it is? Axe needs his seventh finger. Like, he's not accustomed, or do they have 7? They have 7, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is what it is. I was
Yeah,
trying to figure out why you even meant that, but it's the gift wrapping.
for gift wrapping.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
lewd going on in your head
Oh
there,
my
and you just
god,
didn't
come
really.
no, Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you?
Eh,
So, Melissa is waiting outside on a bench.
right?
Tom
The
goes,
fuck?
"Let me walk into this random weird store, buy you a cell phone, gift wrap it, walk out and hand it to you."
It's
You're not going
such
to
a.
come in. You don't want to like help decide what cell phone you want.
It's so fucking strange, and it just feels like a really weird gift too. Like I don't know. Like this was back when cell phones were just first being adopted, so this isn't some like, oh, this is like 2005 when teenagers are like starting to get them, but like you might not have yours yet or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh this is like 99 or whatever. This is when it's still some weird techie gadget thing. Right? And she's probably like,
Yeah.
I like my pink landline that I have next to my bed. What the fuck is this thing you gave me?
Yeah, the only people who are using cell phones are like businessmen at this
Yeah,
point.
fucking
It's
Neo.
sure. But okay, so that happens. Okay, finally we can get to what's actually going on here.
Here's where the big reveal is because you might have asked yourself, why, if Axe, and we established with Melissa that Axe can tell if someone's a yerk by looking in their eyes. So you might think, plot hole, how come Axe couldn't tell that Gustav was a yerk? Right? Reasonable question to ask. It's because of his yellow glasses. That's why he wears the yellow tinted glasses, so that Andalites can't tell he's a yerk. You
Now wait.
see.
First of all, I forgot that that was even a reveal in the last scene that we found out Gustav's a controller. I don't know if we really like highlighted that too
Oh
much.
yeah, we did. He was there with the
Right.
jamming.
We said he was there because we found out he is a Yerk. We didn't know
Right,
that
yeah.
yet. I
I
forgot.
guess.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
once
if
he's doing a mind control brainwash phone thing,
yeah,
but
sure. Yeah, right. But if you didn't watch the episode, I don't know. You might not be following along that
yeah, sure.
closely. Um, I, yeah, I mean, this is so fucking stupid that this thing which didn't exist before. They solved a problem that they created. They're like, oh, let's decide in this episode. Axe can tell Yerks by their eyes. Oh no, but now this guy, he'll know he's a Yerk. Oh, give him glasses. You know what else you could have done? Is just not say
Yeah.
he can tell who's a Yerk.
Yeah, just
It's
don't do that.
it's ridiculous. It's such a dumb, pointless decision. Now I don't know if it's clear to me that he wears the glasses intentionally to fool Andalites. I think he just
Yeah,
happens to wear these fucking
you
glasses.
might be right. I mean, I don't fucking listen. My whole takeaway from this is that this is a joke, right? This is not a real fucking plot point. This is the sort of thing where they shouldn't even bother to address it, right? At some point, they drop this stupid ass lore that they don't intend to commit to because they're not very serious, that Axe can tell. And then at some point, his employer just turns out to secretly be a yerk, and who cares? We don't worry about it. So then you, the viewer, say, Why doesn't he know his employer's a controller? Oh, it's probably because of those dumbass dork loser glasses he's wearing. Ha ha ha. But no, it turns out that's what it is. That's the reason.
And why? Like, what is it? Is it the tint of their eyes? What is it that he can see when the glasses are off that he can't when they're on?
I have no idea. No clue.
It's utterly absurd. um. Anyway, did you say that we actually what's in the cell phones?
Oh, yes, so we do find out here what the reason what it is. There's yerks in the cell phones.
There's a little yerk just sitting in the side the electronic speaker of the cell phone, and when people put it up to their ear, it crawls into their ear.
Fucking Axe here is all like, let me try this cell phone out, and is about to just put it up to his ear without even touching it. When Jake and Mark are like, no, 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 Axe, put that down. And then he sees there's a slug crawling out of it.
That's right. And then he just casually throws it on the ground and just steps on it. It's just like, that's just a yerk, a soul that he's just crushed like a bug. You know, not that it's out of character for Axe or anything, but it's just something to consider.
This is insane. Who
It
came up
is
with this?
it is so fucking stupid.
This is some fucking, like, Alex Jones shit. They're putting mind control slugs in the cell phones, right? They're turning the frogs gay with 5G. What the fuck? It's like, it's not even, it's so fucking insane. Like, how does your brain even think, what if they put yerks in the cell phones? So that when people used the cell phone, they got yerked.
Some writer, his fucking Melrod was it's the 90s. He's walking around the mall like, oh, what should I write about? What are kids doing these days? What's cool? Oh, cell phones. You put the phone next to your ear. That's where yerks go. I'm a genius. It writes itself.
That's where yerks go. That's how I'm gonna think about ears from now on. But that's
Not
where
right now.
yerks
It's
go.
not.
Put on those earmuffs.
I mean, it raises some questions for me. How long
Oh,
are
really?
yerks hanging out in these phones? Like, it's somebody's job to open up all these individual phones, put a yerk in them, and then what? They're sitting in there for like hours a day. Just it can't be comfortable as a yerk like sitting on electronic wires and components and shit. And what they're in there for like hours, sometimes days, maybe. Like, do they have to unload them every so often? Do they have a Kandrona somewhere that's like generating Kandrona waves for them? Who are the yerks that get chosen to go into a phone? And also, the idea of yerks, the way they're infiltrating Earth, the smart thing is, oh, we want to, take hosts that are like in government or positions of power or whatever. But here it's just whatever random schmuck walks up in the mall and is like, hey, do you guys have cell phones? Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Hey, you get a yerk. Like I'm sorry for these yerks that just get randomly stuck with some shitty, useless host. Like, oh, you get to be the principal of a school. This guy's like a powerful millionaire. Oh, it turns out, oh, I work at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, great. What am I going to do? How am I helping out the cause? It's the worst plan.
All of their plans are so dumb, right? Like, especially, listen, we're body snatchers heads now, right? We
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about
yeah.
body snatchers. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
like, in all of these body snatchers things, what do? You grab, like, one guy, and then he, in the night, grabs all the rest of his family, and then all the families grab one person who's their friend, and then those people grab.
Yeah.
What yerk plan? We're gonna. Oh, let's bring all the students in the school down to the tornado shelter. Oh, let's fucking give distribute cell phones at random. What plan is better than, hey Tom, why haven't you put a yerk in fucking Jake and your mom and dad's ears yet? Like, why didn't you just do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I mean, a school is not a bad place to infiltrate, literally just for the reason of, like, you could bully some kid in the bathroom by sticking a yerk in his ear, and then he goes and gets his parents, right? Like,
Yeah.
but like, what? It's such a shitty, bad way to get people. But all of the plans that they have in this show are like that, and honestly, the books aren't that much better at that either.
No, they're
I
not. They're
hate
not.
having to talk about, the books being stupid because I love them, but, it is a problem where I have to criticize the show for being stupid, and then I have to be like, "Yeah, it's not that much, worse."
The difference, it's certainly the books are stupid in that regard, and I know that we discussed this when we talked
Mhm,
about the books, that it's like, like, why don't, like, just go get a guy while he's in Wendy's or whatever. Like, why are you it's not that complicated. Um, you don't need to like fake a hospital visit or whatever the fuck they do in The
mhm.
Decision, right? Which inspired this show, this episode. Isn't that episode, the hospital one book?
That's
Anyway,
one of them, yeah. That's a
um,
plot they do multiple times.
but of course, but then in the books, like, you aren't always thinking about that, because at least there are good books that are distracting you with things that are interesting. And here, they've made that background plot the front and center of it, so you can't help but go, "This is fucking dumb."
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
feels like this is like the plot of like a Goosebumps, but it wouldn't
right.
be, or an Are You Afraid of the Dark, but it would work better without the larger context if it was just, oh, what's this weird? It's like fucking Ivan Ooze selling his ooze in the Power Rangers movie. Like, if that's your one thing, I'm the guy who infests people from the cell phone store, that's kind of interesting. But then when you're like, wait, but it's this larger organization that already has all these other hosts and all this shit, then it falls apart.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that the books have is that very often this is not the plot of a book, right? Like, oh, the
Yeah.
plot is what about Melissa specifically? The plot is there's a transport ship. The plot is there's an Andalite underground water, whatever. The plot is we're trying to capture Andalites and Visser One's here. Like the plot is not how do we grab 10 people. Like the 10 people being grabbed are being grabbed off screen most of the time, and we just don't know how they got that lawyer over there. Maybe they sold her a cell phone with a yerk in it, or maybe they did something legitimate. I don't know. Uh, Here we get to see it because we're just doing sitcom plot of the week things, and that's what you're gonna do.
This is what happens when you run out of books to adapt, and the writers are just like, oh, well, like, yerks, that's the thing. So you would write a bunch of plots about how they're doing their yerk stuff. It's we're just doing the GI Joe Power Rangers thing. Oh, every week the yerks have a new plot, and the Animorphs have to stop them from infecting people by whatever this week it's a cell phone store. Last week it was a basketball game. Next week it's a bake sale. Like, whatever the fuck it's gonna be. That's just what they do.
We're really good TV analyzers too, I think, not
We
just book
are.
analyzers.
Yeah. Yeah. What I like about TV is you don't have to read it.
Right. Uh, Literally, Jake has a line, and I quote, "That's their plan. Put yerks in the cell phones." Unquote.
You know when they say, like, oh, Seinfeld, you couldn't make Seinfeld today, or you couldn't make horror movies now because cell phones would just ruin all the plots. Well, that's true of this episode too. You couldn't do this episode with a smartphone. A yerk can't crawl out of one of those.
uh,
Uh, um.
uh,
Okay, so
so
yeah,
something happens here. Um,
here.
that so earlier on there was a little bit of a noise complaint and a police disturbance at my place of residence.
Mm.
And at this point in the episode, I started screaming and hooting and hollering. I was
Mm.
jumping around in my enclosure. I was flinging debris. I was just, my handlers had to come in.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had to
yeah,
sedate me because
yeah.
at this point, Jake says, "Hey, Marco, call Rachel and Tobias. And you know what? You better call Eric too."
That's right.
Holy fuck. I was
Now
sitting there last episode. We're never going to see him again. I was so certain we were done with that. Here he is next episode.
it's Eric Dove Tiefenbach, uncredited. He is not listed in the end credits.
We really buried the lead on this one.
Now, I do feel like you skipped an entire section
Did
where
I?
Jake
Well,
is
no,
cock blocking
he
Melissa and
doesn't well, he doesn't
Tom.
show up yet. This is the point. Before Jake
Oh,
runs off
right,
to
right,
cock
right.
block, he says that to Marco. Eric's
He
not
just
actually here
says,
yet, but this is the
right.
part where I started having a meltdown because I was like,
I
Eric?
see.
Eric's showing up. I'm promised Eric. I'm hyped for Eric. But first, yeah, Jake's got a cock block Tom.
It was an anticipatory meltdown,
Yeah.
which
Listen, this is
is
in
a
my
band.
notes. I have big meltdown alert text. This is where it's coming out.
I see. I don't know that, to be honest, I think I might have just missed that line of dialogue.
Mm.
I think Eric showing up was a surprise to me.
My ears are tuned for chi information.
But yes, we do. This is an episode of the show that includes on screen, technically, all 6 Animorphs and Tom and Melissa and Eric and Chapman, too.
It's fucking. You know who it doesn't include?
I do know. I
And
do.
it's fucking Eugene Lipinski, and I'm getting real
Yeah.
worried. But we'll
I
talk
mean,
about
there's
that.
no way he's not in the finale. He has to be.
I will hunt down Deborah Forte and kill her if he's not.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, there's this extended sequence where Tom and Melissa are hanging out at the mall, and Jake's like, "Hey guys, I want to come too." And this was where I think before I was saying, "Oh, like he's grooming Melissa as a joke," but I
Mm.
kind of thought like, "Oh, like they're just kind of like maybe just hanging out or something weird." And this was here; it was very clear. Like, no, Tom. It does seem like he's actually trying to fuck Melissa, and this is gross.
Yeah, I mean that is the what Melissa thinks is happening here for sure.
Tom or Jake says that Tom's motto is "woo 'em and win 'em." he's trying to get Melissa to stop liking him by being like, "Hey Tom, remember that old girlfriend you had?" Like he's a womanizer.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really stupid.
yeah. It is very. Now I will say, I'm looking at this from Melissa's perspective, and I think Melissa's over here like, holy shit, Jake wants to fuck me too. Like Jake is like all over here. He's like kind of getting in, he's putting his hand around both of our shoulders. He's kind of getting in between us. He's over
Mm,
here like, Tom, you just back off here for a second. Melissa's like, oh my God.
Maybe I can have both brothers if I play my cards right.
Mm-hmm. Sean
Mhm.
and Aaron.
That's right. Um, yeah, they want to. Tom wants to take Melissa to a movie. Again, none of this. He already gave her the cell phone. Like, what's
Yeah.
his plan? He's just gonna put it up to her ear while they're sitting in the chairs. Like he could do that anywhere.
Yeah, he gave her the cell phone. Jake like jumps in right before she puts it up to her ear. Because of course that's what you do when you're handed a cell phone. You put it right up to your ear. So Jake had to interrupt it. But yeah, it's true. Like he gave her the cell phone. He doesn't have to do anything. I don't.
Yeah, they could just be like, "Bye," and then call her later.
Oh, don't you see the movie's about to start? It says turn off your cell phone. If you want to make a call, you got to do it right now, Melissa. This is your last chance to make a call for 2 whole hours.
He's trying to get Jake to leave, and he tells Jake that the movie is rated NJ for no Jakes, which means I guess it's not Chinatown because there is one Jake in that, and it's not the sequel either, which has 2. So if you're trying to narrow down what movie they were going to see, I don't think it's either of those films. Since there's at least one Jake in both.
Rachel and Cassie show up, or I guess maybe it's just Rachel.
Huh?
And Rachel also is like, hey, Melissa, oh, you're going home. Why don't you come home with me? So now either Melissa thinks Rachel also wants to fuck her, or Melissa's like, oh, well, now I know Jake wants to fuck me because Rachel's getting jealous and is trying to separate us. Something along these lines is what's happening here.
How do we feel about the sort of portioning out of these Animorphs? Because it is very rare that we see all of them in one episode. Usually there's like 1 or 2 that are missing. Or it's all of them, but then you don't have like also Tom and a Melissa type character. And I don't know, is this a better solution that like Tobias and Rachel they're in like 2 scenes and barely do anything? Is that better than just not seeing them at all? I guess it is.
Yeah, I think it is better than not seeing them, but it is kind of sad to just be like, where is Tobias? You made him a boy. You made him a boy just so that you could write him into the episodes.
Yeah, right. It's ludicrous. In this scene, he definitely does not say anything.
Yes, no, he has no lines here.
And the
I
camera
kind of
cuts
forgot
to
he
him
was
like
here, but he
3
is.
times, and he just stares silently.
Right, it's Tobias and Rachel, not Cassie and Ray. That's how bad
Yeah.
I just totally forgot.
Oh, you do see, Rachel does get a
Oh,
little bit more because she gets to go home with Melissa now and hang out with her
yeah,
because
like
'cause they're friends.
the order of the characters is like, it's like Marco, or I'm sorry, it's like Axe, Marco and Jake, Tom and Melissa, Eric, Rachel, Cassie, Tobias.
Even Marco has disappeared at this point.
That's oh
Like, I
yeah,
don't
maybe Marco's
know
just
where the hell he
overrepresented.
is.
Yeah, he's lower down, isn't he?
He was big in the beginning, but then he just kind of vanishes.
Yeah. So
It's
Marco,
weird.
yeah, Marco and Eric are like on par.
I get the sense that they maybe just wrote dialogue without putting in a specific Animorph's name, and they just said, I don't know, whichever kid is on set that day will be in that scene.
Could be, could be.
It doesn't really. That's why the Marco jokes don't feel like Marco jokes because they're like, I guess Rachel could say that too if we need her to. Who cares?
Yeah. So Rachel follows Melissa home, so they can hang out. We get to see Melissa's room here.
Wow. Finally.
Finally. So her bedroom appears to have like an adjoining private bathroom to it.
Richie
Um,
Rich.
and it doesn't look like that. It's not like a
She
rich
has
bathroom.
that.
It's they put her in like the master bedroom that has that instead of like the parents for some
Sure.
reason.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure.
she her
She's a
bathroom door
girl.
has a sign on it that says telephone, and she's
Yeah.
also hung a straw like sun hat on it. She has
Yeah.
some ribbons hanging on her wall for something or other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Math Olympiad, maybe.
hmm It's a
I
good. It's a pretty good room.
yeah. Listen, we got to comment on their rooms. It's important. Uh, she says Tom's too old for her here.
Yes, and I agree. Rachel is not very good at espionage.
No.
She's here to keep her away from this phone, and as she's about to put it to her ear, Rachel's just like, "Oh no, I think I'm gonna puke," and like grabs it and just like, "I gotta go to the bathroom," and doesn't give it back.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, here's the fortunate thing is that Melissa's never going to guess that there's a slug in her phone that will infest her
Right,
brain. She'll just be like,
right.
What are you doing with my phone, Rachel?"
Yeah. Also, it is, it's good that the panel opens up conveniently and you can just dispose of the yerk with no damage to the phone or anything.
Well, it's a bunch of shitty plastic. You can like she literally is just
Yeah.
like flicking at it with her fingernail until it pops open the way you might with a shittily made kid's toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are going to
I
see later on that these are canonically supposed to be piece of shit cell phones.
I do kind of think that maybe the one my parents had was this exact model of phone.
Hmm.
Like I really
Hmm.
it really looked exactly like this.
That doesn't sound
Anyway,
very good.
I don't yeah, probably not. But I'm sure it was cutting edge at the time.
Uh
Okay,
Back to
now we can
Axe.
get to the shit you're excited for.
Back to Axe, and Eric shows up. Eric's here. He's here to fucking help. Eric's gonna show up and he's gonna help, right?
Wow.
He's here.
Wait, is this also did Axe even meet Eric last episode?
Uh, I
I don't-
swear he was there.
I think he was, but I know we talked about like that they didn't like there was a lot they didn't take advantage of. Oh, Axe should be like
Mhm.
jealous of his tech and everything. I do think he. Oh yeah, of course, because he was doing the TV thing. But
Right, yeah, yeah,
they were like, oh yeah, and of course, and then they pressed the button. Yeah, they were in scenes together, but there was like very little.
yeah.
They had no business with one another, really.
Yes.
This is the first significant interaction they've had.
So Eric's here, and he says to Axe, "Back on my planet, we have a saying, but unfortunately, it's way too complicated for me to translate. So my question to you is, do you which Eric do you think is more annoying? The Eric who says this, or the Eric who says, back when I used to assist Archimedes in the lab, I would always tell him."
Yeah, the latter is more annoying.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like that. I hate that. This is confusing. Like, what is that? Like, Axe is also from another planet. What what does he mean the saying is complicated? Like, to translate, or like it's just too philosophical and he wouldn't get it?
Chi or too advanced. He gives him a dumbed down version, which is like there's always a way that you can do what you need to or something.
They're not Pemelates, right? Like, they didn't say that on the show,
No, they've
right?
never brought up Pemelites. They said everyone on his planet looks like him,
So
which
he's just from a dog planet, a robot dog planet.
yeah, which to be fair, if all the
Sure,
Pemelites got killed, maybe they were all robot dogs for a while
sure.
afterwards, but no, they've never said anything about Pemelites.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know. Does Eric really help out that much?
So he does. He does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um because he's saying to Axe, "Well, I don't know what I can do to help here, but because I'm just a super advanced robot who can do anything, but I can't, punch him. So what am I supposed to even do?" And he says, "We got to figure out something fast because time isn't on our side here." Now, astute listeners
Hmm.
will remember the TV slogan. Remember, I teased in the original that Axe's knowledge of slogans would save the day?
Right,
Because
right, right.
Consumer Guy, time isn't on their side, but Consumer Guy is on your side. And Axe, it clicks for him. Consumer
Yeah.
Guy. So Eric gave him the idea to call Consumer Guy, who's going to bail them out. And
Real
TV
missed
did as well.
opportunity because Axe, when Eric says time's not on our side, Axe doesn't go, wait a minute, say that again. You know?
Right.
That would have been really good. I do get the sense in this scene that even Axe thinks Eric is fucking useless.
He does. 100% he does.
Like, what the fuck is the point of you?
Yes, after Eric says his platitude, Axe says, and I quote, "You came all the way here to tell me that?" Like, he is sick of Eric's shit already. We haven't even begun. And he's like, "What the fuck? What are you? Why did Jake even want you here?"
Second Eric appearance, and Axe is like, okay, I got enough of this guy. I think we can move past it. But he gets to be a hologram for 1 second.
Can't he just like put up a hologram to make it look like the phones are gone? Can't he pick up all the phones and leave with them? Oh no, he can't use violence. How are they going to solve this problem without using violence? They're
Can they
cell
like
phones with
short
yerks in them.
circuit them all or something? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But the plan they come up with is real good.
It is real good, yeah. Um, so yeah, there is a bit where Eric. Oh, here's another thing Axe does. Actually, I don't want to move past this because
Mm.
Eric turns into a gumball machine. He puts up a gumball machine hologram,
I
and
can I'm sorry, but I did not until just now realize that that's what he does.
oh,
I thought that gumball machine was just there and Eric just made himself invisible. I didn't realize he actually turns into the gumball machine.
well, then you also missed the part where Gustav asks Axe what he's doing, and Axe hits Eric, the gumball machine, and says, "This machine, stupid. I can't get it to work."
Wow, that really adds a lot to it. Yeah, that is
I don't
really
want
good.
to move past that line right
Yeah,
there.
that's not subtle.
No, it is
Uh,
not.
that might be some meta commentary from Melrod. They're like, you got to put this kid in the episode. He has a 2-episode contract. Oh, Jesus. I hate this fucking machine. Anyway,
Yeah.
they
All the yeah.
yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay. All the people are
Wait a minute.
here for the
Is it called
1-day cell phone
upscale?
sale.
There's a sign. Oh no, that's probably just advertising what it is. I don't know. The name of the store might be Upscale Accessories.
Sounds right.
Okay, mystery solved.
Thank you. Important. And the consumer guy shows up because Axe gave him an anonymous tip about shoddy merchandise. So the consumer guy and his video cameras, they're here to tell everybody how shitty this store is on the news, which is a great plan. I do love how he shows up.
Yeah,
And, like, he
yeah.
doesn't know that there's Yerks in the phones. He doesn't even know it's phones. He was just told they're shoddy merchandise. So he just starts going around the store riffing on how shitty all the merchandise is. And it's very funny to me because he's right. It's just like, yeah, he's right. I'm sure this guy can probably walk into any store and riff on how shitty things are. That's his job. That's what he does. But, like, Gustav has made it easy for him, I think.
But it's also, this is not a TikToker with a cell phone.
Right.
This is a guy who's on TV with a camera crew with like a legit camera, guy with a camera on his shoulder and a microphone, like a news reporter.
Yeah.
And he's over there in like 10 minutes. Like, does he just
Yeah.
hang out in the mall all day hoping he gets a tip for that specific mall?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was still young when those like attack reporters or that style of thing was like in its heyday. So I
You'd think
don't
mall
really know how they
security
operate.
would maybe like after one time this happens, they would be on the lookout for this guy. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
no,
don't
I'm
let him in.
I'm sure that was like a thing. I don't, you know, this is your
It's
Geraldo
just
Rivera or Ted Mall or whatever.
he comes like running. He's filming as he
Yeah.
walks in. There's not even
Yeah.
like, oh, get a good shot of this, or let me like take a look around first to decide what angle we want. He just goes right in, like he's live.
Yeah, the live thing, not some, but I do think this was like part of the style. This idea of like I'm going to aggressively barge in and be like, "Why are you
But
selling
don't you
shoddy
think?
merchandise?" Thrust
But
the mic, get away from me with that camera, and then we air it and we say this store owner
right.
didn't even want to talk to us, kind of thing.
But don't you think that maybe some of that is, if not fabricated,
I'm
at
sure some of
least
it is, yes,
like planned? Like somebody went in the store first, like they
yes,
had to.
yeah. No, I mean it is a real problem because what if they go in there and there's just, I mean, you know what? If you go in there and there's nothing, you just make it
You just
something.
don't
You
air
just
it.
lie. It's fine.
Or that. You splice in some footage of whatever you want.
Of a screaming child or something, like, and you play, like, a slow-mo, like, "Oh" sound, you know?
Right.
You turn the film
Right.
negative.
Anyway, everyone is gathered around, including all of the Animorphs, just hanging out at the mall together.
Mhm.
Eric's gone because whatever, he had to go back to his home planet.
Yeah.
And they all watch as he picks up his cell phone. Oh yeah, because Gustav's like, I'll just make him try out the phone and then problem solved.
Mhm.
But consumer guy is too smart for him.
Well,
Or well, I guess
actually,
he's
Axe
not.
is too much smart for him. As consumer guy's gonna just put the phone to his fucking ear.
Consumer guy was ready to do it. Axe comes over with a super soaker. It all Chekhov's super soaker. It all pays off in the end.
Yeah,
It-
we didn't mention it, but they give a whole line about the super soakers where he says, Gustav says to Axe, "I don't want you spraying that in here. There's very delicate equipment and stuff."
mm,
But then in
yeah.
the end, the payoff, X sprays the cell phone and it like short circuits and consumer guy drops it and it breaks open because it's a piece of shit and there's a yerk in it.
Yeah. And he's like, this place has gross phones with slime and slugs. It's dirty and bad. Shut it down.
Yep.
The day is saved. The
Thanks to
end.
consumer guy.
There's no other cell phone store. The Yerks cannot take another host to just do the same scheme at a different store. They're finished. It's all over for them. They did it.
Pretty stupid.
And then I don't know, they're back in Siberia. I mean, it's over,
Yeah.
right?
The axe is like, oh, I'm sad because I have no job and Melissa's here. Uh oh, here's the thing. Axe bought Jake and Marco some presents. They're little gadget doodads that
Oh,
he doesn't
right.
know what they are, and
Right.
they kinda look like I mean, here's the thing, they've got, like, a little screen and a crank on the side.
Yeah, yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
there some, like, game system you were playing, like, a couple of years ago that, like, had a crank?
You're referring to what is right next to me on my desk, and I have just picked up in my hand. It is it is called the Playdate. It's
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah, it makes this sound. You turn it up, and you can crank it. Um, yeah, yeah. I saw this and thought it was maybe like an electronic fishing game because it
Mm.
looks like maybe that's like a crank to reel in a fake fish. But they don't say what it is, and Axe doesn't seem to know, and neither do Jake and Marco, and they're just like, they have do some dumb little thing where Marco's like, "Oh, I want this one," and then they start arguing over who gets which one. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, and Axe does a voiceover, he's like, "Humans say you get what you pay for, but that's bullshit and not true. But also I'm a capitalist now, and I love things." And that's his outro. That's the episode.
I mean, Axe probably did come to Earth and love capitalism. Once he
Yes.
found out, oh, you pay for cinnamon buns, capitalism good.
I mean, that is sort of what happens in Animorphs. Like, in the last book, they are legitimately talking about like Starbucks or some shit opening up locations on the Andalite homeworld. We fucked up their
Right.
fully automated luxury communism shit. The fucking nope, no more of that. Oh, you live in harmony with the natural world and you love the shape of the coastline as it blends into the fuck that. We're plowing that. We're gonna put a fucking Cinnabon there, and you're gonna like it.
Wait, did that actually? They actually said that in the book. That wasn't a fanfic or something. They did open a Starbucks.
I no, there's a comment about how like some kind of food company is like in talks with the Andalites because there's so much Andalite tourism to come to Earth to eat the food. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was
Okay.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Might have been Cinnabon.
Um. Someone also says lava lamps very Canadianly.
Yes, Axe's lava lamp, and I don't know what the fuck do they say lava like from
They
a mount
do.
a volcano? That's a
I believe that's a thing in can like generally like they'll say an ah instead of an ah
hmm,
for some like a llama like a llama.
like
Doesn't he
Han
say that?
Solo.
Yeah. Isn't that in if I had $1 million? I think they say like a llama or an emu.
Do they actually say llama? I always
I
thought
think so.
they might. I mean, I
Unless
know
it's
the
is it a
line, but
lamb?
maybe my brain just edited it to be American.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I don't know if it's every word that has an ah sound, but some of them they change. Canadians, what can you do?
They're weird. That's the episode.
Yeah. So, okay, here's like positive things about this episode.
Mhm.
Number one, like the axe stuff, to some extent, it is still working. Paolo Costanzo is still funny, and I think one of the stronger performers on the show. And that,
Mhm.
and to some extent, the writers are. I'm not going to go so far as to say they're correct to capitalize on it, but I understand why they're doing it.
They are aware that they should be in a way that wasn't clear last season.
Right. Another thing, we got Melissa back. We have a
Hell
plot
yeah.
about Melissa and Tom. We have a Eric shows up, like the whole gang is in the episode. That's something that we get to see everybody. No one's just forgotten. That's kind of nice. The plot itself just is the dumbest thing ever. But I don't know if like again, if you like rebooted this show, if this was season 1 instead of season 2, then maybe this is a great episode if that's just what this show is. But I'm still kind of in the mindset of well, it's in some way this is still the Animorphs we know and love, or at least is attempting to be it. And so I don't, but I mean, it's not. Is this less stupid really than oatmeal? I, Not really.
Yeah, I like how stupid it is. I think yes, it's very dumb, but like it is very fun as well. This is the sort of thing that like listen, if this were if this were, your standard filler episode, a lot of your episodes were just dumb fun like this, and maybe they involved other characters, because that could also be an issue if they're like, we only can think of dumb fun like this when it's Axe. Um, like I would probably like that. I would probably like that.
Mhm.
We could, but the problem is that like that would have to be like the in between episodes, and then you have some of the like big important plot episodes
Right.
that are like cool and good. And here it's just like there are no episodes in season two, so that's just all we're getting. And most of season one was these plot episodes, and they weren't that good. The finale wasn't like a finale. The opening didn't feel like an open. Like it's just here's one. It feels like they're burnt out of ideas rather than like, hey, we got a bunch of fun ideas for one shots. Let's throw them in. But I
Yeah,
do
and
like it.
it doesn't help that like these last two episodes back to back feel
Mhm.
very. I mean, I guess we got a lot of Eric, so that's a more plotty plot, but it's also two comedy acts episodes.
Yeah, and it's not plotty in the way that like the book is. It's more just like, oh, character introduction. He's an
Yeah, I
alien.
guess right. It's plotty because it's supposed to be. We know from the books, but in the context of the show, it's just I don't know. A guy showed up,
Hmm.
like so what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very like mixed on this episode. It is like it's funny just because of how stupid it is. I don't know to what extent it's actually quote unquote good. It really depends on your what your standards are and what your expectations are at this point for this show. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm really excited to be done with this show. I am so excited
I am
that
pretty ready to be
it's
over with it.
just rip this band-aid off finally. I'm so ready to move on. I'm tired of it, completely done with it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'm, yeah. I
and
basically agree on all counts. Like, this episode was perfectly enjoyable, but like, h- what are we gonna do? We're gonna keep spending 2.5 hours talking about how bad the Zootopia clothing looks, and hey, look at the inside of Melissa's room. Yeah, yeah, we can be done.
so this is our last chance. Next week we are covering all three a three-parter episodes. That's a full over an hour of television.
So if you think we went fucking way too long on this shit, just you wait.
um it's called Changes. What any final predictions? I think we maybe have voiced some of them previously,
So,
but
okay. So I mean, here's the thing. After this episode, there is now a very real chance that both Melissa and Eric could show up. I don't know about Melissa, but I'm actually kind of feeling like Eric could be here, which is not something I was expecting. I'm starting to get very worried that Victor Trent is not going to be here. Um, I will be very mad. Uh, and I'm thinking about how they didn't. This season is just a couple, literal a couple in your sense of the word, like 2 episodes of like nothing.
dictionary
There's
definition.
nothing added except Eric. They don't really have other book plots. I mean, I guess they could, but they don't seem interested in them. Last season finale, it didn't. I don't know how much it felt like an actual finale so much as just a big storyline with a bunch of stuff. Like it didn't feel like it was a wrap up. It didn't feel like it set up a new status quo. And I'm starting to feel like I think the next three-parter is going to be the same thing, right? So
Mhm.
I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be just like a standalone story, probably revolving around the school. Get a whole bunch of characters in, you know.
I think you're probably right for the most part. My predictions are we will see Visser 3, we might see Eric, we won't see Melissa. Um I the only thing which I think I've maybe said on the show already, but it's called Changes. So
Right.
my prediction is that there's going to be some kind of non-alien related life thing for one or more of the
Mm.
Animorphs. Either like a character is moving, or a character, something to do with one of their parents, maybe, or maybe they're graduating, or something. Like there's some kind of like life change that they're going through that sort of mirrors or is a metaphor alongside the Yerk stuff that happens.
I think before we started season 2, I might have guessed that changes is them like part of the reason it's named that is that they're trying to like wrap up the series. Like, oh shit, we're done. We're not going to get any more episodes. Let's do some big status quo change.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I don't know. After watching seeing the part 3 of Face Off just like not super doing much that the first two parters were doing, seeing these two episodes that are, I'm kind of feeling like changes just isn't going to mean anything. They
Well, the
changed. They're
real
fucking animals.
I mean, we did get a front in this episode, you must
That's
admit.
true. You're right. You're right.
The real question is, which I don't know if this answer is out there or not. Maybe I'll try to find out. I don't know if we'll find it or not. Did they know they were making the finale? Or did they just
Yeah.
think, like, when did they find out this show was getting canceled? I have no, because going into season 2, all the interviews with the actors are like, yeah, season 2, like, surely they imagined it would be more than 6 episodes.
Right.
So at what point, it's like pretty quick that it gets cut off. Did they do like you said, were they like, oh shit, we got to wrap it up somehow, or were they just like, oh, we found out we're not coming back next week, oh well, I guess that's the last one, bye.
Yeah, because like, how does that? It's not even like a normal number of episodes to commission. You'd expect there to be more like 12 or 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it does feel like they got halfway through and then got told they couldn't do anymore. So was this just like they did the first half of season 2 and they had a second half kind of lined up and weren't able to? Or
Hmm.
uh did they like how did they, because if it got canceled too early, they just wouldn't have been able to finish these, right? So I have no
Yeah,
clue.
we got to get Deborah Forte on the show.
Maybe we will. We'll time juicer.
All right, well, we're gonna find out. We could find out right now, right after this, if we wanted, the two of us, or our listeners too, if they haven't already. It's time. You could
Hmm.
watch it. You could go fucking watch it.
It's time. Oh my god, I can watch it, and then the show will be over.
That'll be it, man.
I
It'll be
watched
done.
it.
You
God
watched
damn.
it.
Holy shit.
Oh, well, if you have any thoughts about the show or about the finale, since we're discussing it next week, we will. There's going to be what might act as a bit of a postmortem for the show after next week's episode. We'll talk about that next week, what we're going to be doing. But you can email us with any of those thoughts and we'll read them at some point. theyerkyboys@gmail.com. If you're not listening to this 4 years later and we're done, sorry, you missed your shot. You can also sign up to our Patreon if that's still going. Patreon.com/theyerkyboys. We do a bonus episode every single week. This week we're talking about X-Men. So you'll get to hear about Iceman, Hugh Jackman,
Was that the one
Sean
I was supposed to
Levy.
watch?
I mean, we're going to talk about them.
I think I watched a different one.
You can watch whatever you want, but I think we're going to talk about Iceman and Hugh Jackman and Sean Levy.
We'll talk about a lot of things.
We'll probably talk about, I don't know, Leech. All the Morlocks.
Right. Anything you want to like
uh,
have you could
oh,
like
yeah.
to
Hey,
follow
be
you?
like Kat. Follow us on Blue Sky. At Quentz on Blue Sky is me.
Yeah, I guess you could follow me on Blue Sky at Dog Times. Am I Dog Times McGee? Dog Time? What the fuck is my? I don't even know what my Blue Sky handle is.
I
See,
don't
I
know.
don't even bother.
No, you should
Don't
follow
fucking
him.
follow me. Who gives a
Follow him.
shit?
Follow him.
Who fucking gives a shit?
Okay, we're done.
Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next time and we'll be finishing off the show with season 2, episodes 4 through 6, Changes, in which I was gonna write a David Bowie joke, but I didn't. On the Yerky Boys.
100th